Rise and grind, ladies and gentlemen. It's about to get bumpy. Time to attack and dominate. This is Morning Juice with Brandon Beam and Bobby Carpenter.
And here we go on a Wednesday, attacking and dominating our way to 9 a.m. every single weekday morning right here on The Fan. Brandon Beam, the General Bobby Carpenter, and, of course, our fearless leader and producer, Mark the Shark. General, we've navigated our way to a Coaster Bob Day, man. Good to talk to you here on this Wednesday. What's happening?
Oh, great to talk to you, Beam, after some of those nice storms came rolling through last night. Woke me up a little bit. Did you hear have any of those come through your house?
Yeah, I watched the Buckeye golf last night until like 10:30, 10:40-ish, and so I probably went to bed around like 11 o'clock. What time are you talking about? Because I heard the rain starting at like 11:15-ish.
Oh, it was maybe 1. Shark, was it, when you got up, was it storming?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it was I was hydroplaning all over the highway.
Yeah, it was coming down, man. It was probably about 1:30, 2 o'clock.
I didn't hear any of that.
It woke me up, that's a rarity for me. That and the fact that my son was talking in his sleep.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, he does that a lot, though, so it wasn't terrible. But, yeah, those storms, dude, it was pounding rain, little bit of wind, probably some lightning and thunder. So, yeah.
I'm totally unaware of that. I mean, I woke up this morning and I saw some, there were like wet spots on the road. And then on High Street, which basically has, the sewage system and the drainage system of like ancient Rome. I'm like, well, anytime we get a few raindrops, they're just pools of water on High Street by my house. So I didn't think that it was much, but apparently it was.
Yeah. The drainage maybe isn't going quite all that well. We have this huge puddle beam at the end of Asbury and Lane right there. And it's nice. In the winter, it would freeze, which made it a little difficult to stop and slide out.
That's what you want.
Yeah. We've talked to the city about it. It hasn't really gone away. They've drilled some holes, they said, in the blacktop to help drain it out. I'm not sure exactly what that's doing, but they're going to need to figure out the grading situation because I'm talking, Beam, it like encapsulates the entire right lane.
Oh, good.
Yeah, so it's nice. At its peak, like today when I left, it was probably 7 or 8 feet off the curb. It's all the way to the yellow line, probably about 14 or 15 feet long.
It's like a little Tykes pool.
It really is. You'd call it a bird bath, maybe for ostriches. Like it's fairly large. You could have like a family of flamingos living in there.
That sounds pretty good, man.
For someone, in the summer, that's just going to breed mosquitoes. In the winter, it becomes...
Don't worry about that. It'll be fine.
Yeah, I'm good. Malaria is not a thing anymore, I guess. I don't know. You tell me.
Yeah, well, maybe it is.
Lyme's disease, is that a thing? I don't know. More mosquitoes, the better, I always say.
Yeah, I agree. And then more mosquitoes, more spiders, because the spiders, I guess, eat all the mosquitoes. How's your Tuesday, man? All right? Other than the rainstorm.
Yeah, it was pretty good. Pretty good. Yesterday, I've got a great story. I'll save it for a little bit later. We're getting my neighbor's hot tub to move down to...
Yeah, I knew that was a big thing.
It was, making sure I could triangulate to get everybody there.
Did Scheigs come by?
Scheigs did end up coming by, and that was big. Maybe we had needed his help, maybe we didn't, but it was nice to have him there as a security blanket. Mm-hmm. This thing weighs about 900 pounds, so it was not an easy move. Now it's sitting in a trailer in my driveway, getting ready to take it down to Portsmouth. So trying to figure that out, exactly how we're going to get that off there and then get it down the hole. But we'll talk through all that process. So I had that, and then I went straight into some XM radio with Rhett Lewis reminiscing on Bill Walton for a while. So it was a fun time, good show yesterday. And then as we're getting into today in history, I realized as I got home last night, was looking through some things, realized that I had thrown away my little pamphlet.
Nice.
Came back down here at about 6:15 when I got off the air, dug through the trash. It had obviously been emptied at that point. I was very disappointed. Couldn't find it, so I had to go redo it, and hopefully I got it. I have everything that I need for the sound cuts, and I just hate doing it twice, but it was good. So I feel better about that. How was your Tuesday, sir?
That'll be double the better. Mine was good. Yeah, I just mowed the grass yesterday. That was something that I wanted to accomplish, and I got that done like first day of kind of summer yesterday with William and Meredith both being home. At the same time, it was good. He was in a good mood. Theo was in a good mood. We took a nice walk. That was about it. So a little low-key Tuesday for me. We got an awesome program lined up for you here this morning. The Jackets appointed new general manager, new president, Don Waddell. We'll get into that coming up here in our next segment. Mark Scheig, the Hockey Writers, he's going to join the program at 6:35. We'll talk all things CBJ with him coming up here. Special guest in studio, Buckeye Lathan Ransom. Lathan Ransom.
Yeah.
He's going to join us coming up here. Same time he's been hanging out with us, like 7:20 to like 7:45-ish.
Yeah.
So he's going to come in. We'll talk some stuff with him. Super excited about that. Steve Helwagen of Bucknuts, he's going to join the program. We'll talk some Buckeyes with him around 8:05. And then Jeff Risdon of Lions and Draft Wire, he's going to join us at 8:35. So a busy program for us today. Before we get into anything else, it is Wednesday, the 29th day of May, 2024. Time for Today in History.
Time to get smarter. Morning Juice presents Today in History. Here's your professor, Bobby Carpenter.
Sponsored by Dr. Mark Levy. If you're snoring and not sleeping, call Dr. Mark Levy at 1-800-MORE-SLEEP.
All right, let's hear it for the second time, Bob, since you came back last night and had to double down on this.
Yeah, it was good. I just cutting some spots, doing some different things, put this together about 7 o'clock last night. So it is Wednesday, May 29th, the 150th day of the year. 216 days remaining in this 2024. So by my count, that's 66 beam. And so what, 33-ish days will be at the midway point, if I'm not mistaken.
Yep.
So cruising right along here. About to get to the longest day of the year here in a little less than a month. This date, 1453. The Ottoman armies under Sultan Mehmed II capture Constantinople, Shark, after a 53-day siege. Why is that significant? Well, that was the official end of the 2,000-year reign of the Roman Empire. So Rome had been sacked prior. The Eastern Empire had existed for a while after that. Capital at Constantinople there in Istanbul in Turkey, and long may it rain, and that was the end. How about that for you, Shark? The state 1790, Rhode Island, is admitted as the 13th state and final colony to sign the U.S. Constitution. This state 1886, pharmacist John Pemberton. Do you know what he created, Beam?
Dr. Pepper.
Maybe not quite that old. The original.
Coca-Cola.
Coca-Cola.
I knew it was some sort of soda pop.
It's the first ad taken out in the Atlanta Journal to promote it.
Really?
Yeah, it's pharmacist for its health benefits.
Cocaine.
Man. Absolutely. Love to hear this morning. This day, 1965, Help Me Rhonda by the Beach Boys hits number one.
Help me, Rhonda, yeah, get around in my heart.
Well done, sir.
A+.
That's well done. Very, very well done. This day, 1988, this is a big day for you too, Shark. President Ronald Reagan arrives in Moscow for the first visit to the Soviet Union. It was a meeting for their superpower summit. I envision him getting off the plane.
Who was the supreme leader at that time?
Mikhail Gorbachev. I envision him getting off the plane, and is it Burning Heart? No, it's not playing.
I know the one where he's in Rocky montage.
Rocky 4, when he gets off the plane, it's freezing cold.
Hearts on Fire?
It wasn't Hearts on Fire. It might be Burning Heart.
Don't play it, Bean.
It is.
I can't.
It is Burning Heart, but as he gets off, it's snowing, and you know what says more Russia than snow in like late May?
It is Burning Heart.
Burning Heart. Knew that. There we go. There's a quest for answers and a unquenchable thirst. This day, 2001, big day for all golfers who like to ride in the cart. The Supreme Court of the United States rules that disabled golfer Casey Martin can ride in a car during competition. I've been championing that for years. Golf's not exercise, it's an activity. If you want exercise, head to the gym. I don't need to walk when I play golf. I'll go run and work out beforehand. Then
Casey Martin, head coach now at Oregon.
There you go. Riding around in the cart too, by the way.
Yep.
Well, he had his leg amputated.
Exactly. You know what? Good. Hey, not good for him. That stinks. But he needs, at least riding the cart is available to him now. And then this day, 20 years ago, one of the cooler monuments you will see in Washington, the World War II monument, is dedicated. And it's really cool because they have a deal for each state and everything.
20 years
ago, 2004.
Wow. I would have guessed maybe 2010.
Yeah.
Can't believe that.
So, 2004, the World War II monument is dedicated. Some birthdays today. One of the original patriots, I believe a signer on the Declaration of Independence, born in this date, 1736. First governor of Virginia, Shark, he said, "Give me liberty or give me death."
Nathan Hale.
Oh.
Give me liberty or give me death. That was, could you give me his initials?
PH.
Paul Harvey.
Good day.
He may have been around then. Come on.
Patrick Henry.
There you go.
Nice.
There you go.
I'm getting old, Bob.
I know, but he's dead. So you were alive when he was. Born in this state, 1903, lived almost to 100 years old. Bob Hope, the singer and actor, getting it done. The 35th president of the United States was born on this date, Shark. Who would that be?
That'd be JFK.
John Fitzgerald Kennedy, born on this date in 1917. Unfortunately, we lost him in 1963.
And so, my fellow Americans, ask not what your country can do for you. Ask what you can do for your country. My fellow citizens of the world, ask not what America will do for you, but what together we can do for the freedom of man. Finally, whether you are citizens of America or citizens of the world, ask of us here the same high standards of strength and sacrifice which we ask of you.
Absolutely. A couple of interesting birthdays here. We've got turning 74 today. Is it Rebby Jackson, the oldest Jackson daughter? Reby?
I don't know.
She's
Bob.
the oldest Jackson, turning 74. And then her sister LaToya was also born on this date 6 years later, the fifth child and middle daughter. She's turning 68. So siblings with the same birthday, not twins. Melissa Etheridge, singer, turning 63. And then second baseman for the Cincinnati Reds, Eric Davis?
No, outfielder.
Outfielder for the Cincinnati Reds, turning 62, two-time All-Star and a 1990 World Series champion.
Mets had a chance to go out in front in the top of this 10th inning. Couldn't do it. A hit now would win it for the home team. Here comes Davis to third. The throw, he's safe. And now look at this. Davis and Ray Knight. I'll tell you one thing, you're barking up the wrong tree when you go after Ray Knight, but look at Eric Davis. He still wants a piece of the Mets third baseman.
Look at the area around third base. It looks like a hockey match, like they dropped their gloves. Everybody dropped their hats and their gloves and just went at it.
There we go. Daniel Tosh, comedian, turning 49. Saw him in concert here at or in his performance at the Vets Memorial before they took a down beam. My 29th birthday, I want to say.
Okay.
My wife got me those.
Funny man.
Tickets, yeah, I enjoyed him for a long time. I used to watch Tosh Point a lot. Former Kansas star Rafe LaFrentz turning 48 years old. Carmelo Anthony turning 40. Austin Reeves, Lakers star, turning 36. And Puka Nacua, how about that? Turning 23 years old, the Rams wide receiver.
Third down and 4. Stafford throws. There he is. Nacua to the end zone. Rams win. Stafford lofting end zone. Nacua. He's got it. Touchdown Rams. Stafford to the end zone. Caught. Touchdown. Puka Nacua is in. Second and 1. Stafford over. Nacua on the run. Puka Nacua turns on the afterburners. Touchdown. 70 yards. And the Rams are on top. Wentz floats it down the sideline. It's caught. It's Nacua. It's a touchdown.
Carson Wentz. There we go.
How about that?
Yeah.
Didn't think I'd hear him this morning.
No.
And then one of the bright young stars in Major League Baseball and a fine American patriot, Paul Skeens, turning 22 years young today. And then passing on this date, 2010, we lost one of the legendary actors, Dennis Hopper. Some holidays observances. It is Composting Day. It's the end of the Middle Ages. International United Peacekeepers Day. National Biscuit Day. How about that? Paperclip Day, Pink Flamingo Day, Put a Pillow on Your Fridge Day, whatever that means, World Digestive Health Day, and World Otter Day, which is always the last Wednesday in May. And those are your historical events, your birthdays, your passings, your holidays, observances for this date. Wednesday, May 29th, 150th day of the year, and 216 days remaining in this 2024.
Very well done on that, General. As always, the white smoke came out of Nationwide Arena chimneys yesterday as the Blue Jackets found their new general manager. That's next. Morning Juice right here on The Fan.
Fan traffic.
From the Atlas Butler Plumbing Services Traffic Center.
Hey there, and good morning to you. Right now, no crashes that we're currently watching across your central Ohio interstates. We are seeing traffic pick up on the far east side coming in from the Etna-Pataskala area. Also on I-71 near downtown Columbus. I'm 10 TV's Amy Steigerwald with your Fan Traffic.
Fan Traffic sponsored by Pella Windows and Doors. Voted by Columbus homeowners as the leading and most trusted window brand. Find out why at PellaColumbus.com or at their brand new Polaris showroom.
My guys at Germain Lexus are getting ready for the Memorial. What they do every single year is let the golfers drive around in beautiful Lexuses for the week. Then they take those cars and sell them to you. You could be driving Rory's car. The Germain all-month-long celebration's going on right now. You can get great deals like this one. 2024 RX 350, 36-month lease, 10,000 miles per year, $49.99 down, $519 a month. I just picked up my brand new RX 350 a few weeks ago. It is plush. Germain Lexus of Dublin and Easton, GermainLexus.com.
Roof leaks can mean expensive repairs unless you work fast. Legacy Roofing, the leader in Central Ohio commercial roofing, can repair, replace, and maintain your roof to avoid costly damage. At Legacy, we're famous for fast, reliable, safe, and permanent protection for your roof. Our technicians are skilled craftsmen trained by industry leaders like Carlisle, Versico, and Elevate to create lasting roofing systems to protect your investment. Call Legacy Roofing Services today, 800-880-ROOF, 800-880-ROOF. Legacy Roofing Services.
What's wrong with Rick? He's kind of spacey.
That's Rick's identical twin, Scott. He's not used to answering to Rick.
What's going on?
Rick asked me to keep it secret, but he asked his twin to cover his shift so he could go to Diamonds Direct to shop.
But this is a jewelry store.
Exactly. But the prices and selection are so much better at Diamonds Direct. Rick doesn't want the boss to get suspicious, so Scott's here in case the boss sees Rick at Diamonds Direct.
But that would mean that the boss is at Diamonds Direct too.
Yeah, we have a lot of secrets.
You never know who you'll run into at Diamonds Direct. With unbeatable direct importer prices, the highest quality diamonds, the most sought-after designer rings, the best customer service, the strongest guarantees in the industry, it's just a no-brainer.
You think if Scott had a mustache, he'd look like me?
Go where everyone goes. Diamonds Direct. Your love, our passion. Learn more at diamondsdirect.com.
Common Man and T-Bone are known for many things. And while great radio ain't one of them, shoving food down their gullets is their specialty. Join Man and Bone for Fat Boy Food Tip.
Live at 3 or on the podcast.
Your home for fat. The Fan.
Another day is here, and you're ready for it. What to wear? Check. Breakfast, lunch, and dinner? Check. Planning for what's next and how to save for it? That's where Bank of America can help. For your financial to-dos, Bank of America has experts ready to help get you closer to your goals. Get started at one of our Central Ohio financial centers or 24/7 in our mobile banking app. Find a location near you at bankofamerica.com/talktous. What would you like the power to do? Mobile banking requires downloading the app and is only available for select devices. Message and data rates may apply. Bank of America N.A., member FDIC.
Some people just know there's a better way to do things, like bundling your home and auto insurance with Allstate. Why make things harder than they need to be? There's a better way to save time and money. Visit allstate.com or call for a quote today.
Take action with Logan Services. Save up to $2,700 on a qualifying train system. Find us online to book your free estimate now. We make home comfort easy. Logan Services.
Wasteful Washington spending is driving up the price of everything in Ohio. Groceries, gas, housing. Senator Sherrod Brown has backed President Biden's agenda 97% of the time, including voting to allow spending tax dollars on illegal immigrants. Senator Brown voted to allow $500 million in COVID checks for illegals. And Brown voted in favor of taxpayer-funded health care for illegals granted amnesty, while some American citizens can't afford to see a doctor. Brown even voted with Biden to give illegal immigrants Social Security benefits for work done illegally. Call Senator Brown at 216-522-7272 and tell him to support S3578, the Protect Medicaid Act, and vote against reckless, out-of-control Washington spending on illegal immigrants. Ohio families need cheaper gas, food, and housing, not handouts to illegal immigrants who haven't played by the rules. Paid for by One Nation. www.onenationamerica.org.
Fan weather.
From the Logan AC and Heat Services Weather Center.
Heading out the door today, we are looking at showers out there on the roadways. 70 degrees is the high temperature today. Tonight we drop down to 47. And then on your Thursday, the sunshine is back. We're looking at a high of 71. That's your latest weather report on 97.1 The Fan.
FanDuel is the exclusive online sportsbook partner of Morning Juice. Just sign up at FanDuel.com/juice. The Fan, Ohio sports destination.
Hash browns and smackdowns. You're listening to Morning Juice.
Wednesday edition of the program. Brandon Bean, Bobby Carpenter, Mark the Shark. Hey, guess what? We're having a live press conference today, 1 o'clock, over at Nationwide Arena. Going to be aired on Rothman and Ice. So the news came out yesterday, and you and I were talking about this, Bob, yesterday morning, that this was likely going to be the situation moving forward. Didn't know exactly which day that it was going to be. But Don Waddell was going to be appointed power here with this organization, and he was. The Columbus Blue Jackets, this came straight from the team. Columbus Blue Jackets announced today that longtime NHL Executive Director Don Waddell has agreed to a multi-year contract to serve as the club's president of hockey operations, general manager, and alternate governor. The club also announced that John Davidson, who has been the club's president of hockey operations for the 10 of the last 12 years, has agreed to serve as senior advisor and alternate governor. Waddell will be introduced at a press conference on Wednesday. Again, you can listen to that live on The Fan. You can also watch it live on our YouTube channel. Here was a statement that they had. John McConnell, majority owner, had to say this: to our fans, we remain committed to providing all necessary resources to build a team and organization that competes for the Stanley Cup. After spending time to get to know Don, I believe his experienced leadership will take us down the path of success. He, of course, spent 10 years with the Canes, serving as team president from 14 to 18, also as team president and GM since 2018. Over the past 6 years, they've compiled the second most points percentage in the NHL with 664. Boston was the first at 695. Third in wins, the Canes have won 3 division titles, advanced to the playoffs each year, and earned trips to the Eastern Conference Finals twice. Mike Priest had to say this: Don Waddell is one of the most experienced and respected executives in our sport with 4 decades of experience as a player, scout, head coach, GM, and president. Most recently, he's built the Carolina Hurricanes in one of the winningest clubs in the National Hockey League. Don has every attribute we're looking for when this process began, and we are thrilled to have him lead our hockey operations effort. I just have one question about this. Can anybody explain to me, like I'm 5 years old, what an alternate governor is?
It's a great question, Beam.
What's the line of succession?
Is it like akin to prime minister?
I don't know.
How about lieutenant governor?
That too.
I don't know. Like I'm trying to figure
Senator.
out. That's Gracchus?
Something.
I'm not sure.
Supreme Court Justice?
Maybe Supreme Leader.
Could be Supreme. Who's the Supreme Leader here?
That's why I don't. Is this like a vice president type of situation?
Don't know.
The term alternate governor, I feel like this is some Canadian nonsense that has infiltrated. I mean, let's be honest. I mean, hockey is Canada's sport, but 75% of the teams reside in the United States. So we can use U.S. terms as far as governance and structure. Alternate governor is nothing that resides in the lexicon for the
we have a lieutenant governor, don't we?
Yes, that's the second in command in the state of Ohio. You're the governor, lieutenant governor. There's not alternate governor, like if the main governor's on vacation. And by the way, there is no governor at the Jackets. There's a president. So how do you have an alternate governor if you don't have a main governor? What is he an alternate to?
I don't know. It's a good question. Again, he multi-year contract to serve as the club's president of hockey operations, general manager, and alternate governor. John Davidson, who has been the club's hockey operations the last 10 to 12 years, has agreed to serve as senior advisor, also alternate governor. So we got a couple alternate governors, a president.
So wait, there's multiple alternate governors?
Yeah. So JD is stepping back into the president, into the alternate governor, although Don Waddell's coming in, taking over the president job, but he's also an alternate governor.
So John Davidson no longer president.
Correct.
Just alternate governor.
And senior advisor.
special advisor to the owner.
Yeah.
Okay, good. So we've got that figured out. So I don't understand this org structure, Beam. I'm going to need you to chart it out. Are we having someone on to discuss
Scheig's
this?
coming up in 10 minutes.
Oh, good. So Mark Scheig, when I ask him to draw me an org chart, he'll be
What's
able to
the
put
line
this
of
together.
succession?
I have no idea what this even means.
I don't either.
I do know this, that if John Davidson is now, super special secret advisor to the owners, then that means that he is no longer president, as was stated, and that is now going to go to the new alternate governor, Mr. Waddell. And I don't know if this means John Davidson, I don't know if his involvement will decrease, but maybe the power structure is obviously going to be changed. And I don't know if he is much longer for the job. This may seem like something where in the next year or two he will be getting phased out.
Absolutely.
Maybe. That's just how it sounds to me.
That's how I read this too, Bob. I feel like the phase out process has now kind of begun. And it's good. I mean, this organization and this franchise is at a pretty critical juncture of where it's at. You look at the fans over the last couple of years, and you look at the team's success. Could not be more opposite, right? I mean, you go down. I mean, Bob, was 10 years ago, you could go down on a Tuesday, Thursday game, one of those random like Wednesday night games at Nationwide Arena. There would be 10,000 people in the barn. It's hard to get a ticket. It's one of the toughest tickets to get in town, and it's going to be expensive anytime that you want to go over there. This team has been really bad over the last couple of years, and fans have continued to pour out support, which I think is one of the most impressive things going on. But now you look at, it's time to win. Like all of a sudden, like you've got all the ingredients in the cupboard. You've got these young prospects. It's time to win. You can't continue to do this.
Trust the process.
You can't continue to peddle hope for years and not actually produce on the ice. You can't do it.
Well, Beam, I mean, you got to trust the process. Process is it's a 20-year build. I feel like we're in a good spot here, Shark. Just kind of slowly building away, and they'll eventually get there. So we'll see if this ultimately turns into wins. It did in Carolina.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they played in Easter. I would be really happy if we played in Easter Conference Finals.
Yeah, they played in 2 under him.
That would be tremendous. And they played in one, 2 or 3 years ago? Yeah. Made the playoffs, made it out of the first round, last 3 years. Like, there's a lot of good things that he's done.
Don Waddell had to say this. I couldn't be more excited to join the Columbus Blue Jackets, as this is an organization that is everything you need to have success at the highest level. It's a wonderful city, passionate fans, strong ownership, first-class facilities, and a desire to be the best. I'd like to thank the McConnell family, Mike Priest, John Davidson, for this opportunity, and look forward to being part of this community. So he's got a press conference again at 1 o'clock today. We will be airing that live on Rothman and Ice. You can listen to that via stream, you can listen to that via radio, or you can also listen to that on our YouTube channel. Just type in 97.1 The Fan, hit search, and our live stream will pop right up for you.
There you go. Speaking of that, I'm going to bring the live stream up right now. But also, Beam, pool season, it is here, and because that's the case, you need to go see my folks over at Affinity Whole Health. They're the leader in the testosterone hormone replacement therapy industry, and they're not just here to optimize your testosterone levels. Oh, no, they will do far more than that. They're here for weight loss as well. That's right. Affinity can help you lose weight and alleviate the symptoms that come with low T. Affinity offers semaglutide injections for weight loss in addition to some of their testosterone treatments, so you can say goodbye to low energy, low libido, and hello to weight loss and muscle gain. That'll allow you to cruise around the pool, Bourbon Street, High Street, wherever your heart desires, shirtless like me, having a good time, feeling good about where you're at this summer. So go check them out by going to feelgreatcolumbus.com. That's feelgreatcolumbus.com.
Jackets appointed a new general manager yesterday, Mark Scheig of the Hockey Writers. He's going to join us. We'll break it down with him coming up next. Morning Juice right here on The Fan.
Fan traffic.
From the Atlas Butler Plumbing Services Traffic Center.
Hey there, and a happy Wednesday to you. No crashes that we're currently watching across your Central Ohio interstates, but definitely a wet commute for you. Watching busy traffic coming in from the far east side near the Etna-Pataskala area on I-70. Also on 33 westbound near Plain City. I'm 10 TV's Amy Steigerwald with your fan traffic.
Hey there, friends. Bo Bishop here from my friends at High Bank Distillery Co., located right here in Columbus, the home of the best blended whiskey in America. Support local and grab a bottle at your local liquor store right now. But they don't just make whiskey. Introducing their newest product, 614 Vodka, Ohio's house vodka. High Bank teamed up with 614 to launch your new favorite go-to, 614 Vodka. Perfect to make a drink at home or try when you're out at your favorite local restaurant. There's no taste like home with 614 Vodka. Learn more at 614vodka.com.
There's a little slice of heaven in a country road's escape. Pure perfection in the form of uncrowded nature. Over 1.5 million acres of parks and public lands. From mountain biking to stargazing. Churning whitewater to quiet trout streams far off the grid. Almost heaven is down to earth in West Virginia. Plan your getaway now at wvtourism.com.
Hey, it's Bobby Carpenter. Spending the money to replace our home's windows is rarely something we get excited about. We usually do it because our energy bills suck or our current windows, well, they're too messed up. But in working with the local Pella Columbus team, my eyes have been opened. New windows can legitimately change the entire look of your home. They've got windows and colors and styles like I've never seen, and they can change everything. So go see my friends at PellaColumbus.com or check them out at their brand new Polaris showroom.
Hey there, friends. It's Bo Bishop here, and my friends at RCD RV are blazing a trail in the RV industry. RCD now has 5 stores in Ohio to serve you with the best brands, new and pre-owned RVs for every budget. Your summer vacation will be one to remember when you skip the smog and spend your nights under the stars. The beautiful night sky, making those memories with the whole family. They're going to cherish it forever. Visit them at any of their 3 locations in Central Ohio and 5 in the Buckeye State or online anytime at rcdrv.com.
The Fan app is about to become your new best friend. Your one-stop shop for all your favorite fan shows. ESPN Columbus and BetQL. Live or on demand, listen on your schedule. Download the 97.1 The Fan app today. It's free. Do it.
We see it every day. A guy comes into the men's clinic and guess what? The pills quit working, or they're sick of the side effects. And you know what else we see? Guys not confident in their relationship. At Columbus Men's Clinic, we're the leaders in bedroom confidence. Understanding if you even need ED or low T treatment should be the first step. And the next should be choosing the treatment or treatment combination to build your confidence. Our urologist and physician group is offering professional, modern treatments with success rates as high as 92% and decades of experience. Our doctors are not going to send you an email with what might work for most people. We are results-driven. Concierge. You don't pay for medication, it's included, but you invest in the time it takes to get you where you want to be. We've built an experience with discretion that takes the worry out of going to the doctor. In fact, we've normalized it for guys all over Columbus. Come see our friendly team in Columbus and find out why we've been #1 in men's health for years. Get a consultation and low T blood work with results on your first visit for $99. Get your confidence back in the bedroom and beyond. Go to columbusmensclinic.com and book your appointment today. columbusmensclinic.com.
Life insurance. Why are you putting it off? Can't afford it? Too much hassle? Think you don't need it? There's lots of excuses for putting off life insurance. But if you weren't there, who would pay the mortgage and other bills? With Ethos, you could be covered in 10 minutes and boom, family protected. Ethos, fast and easy online term life insurance. Up to $2 million in coverage with no medical exam. Some policies as low as $1 a day. Answer a few health questions and get your free quote at getethos.com. That's getethos.com.
From taking on extra shifts to the years of hard work, the success you've already had matters at University of Maryland Global Campus because we're a school for real life. An accredited state university, UMGC lets you earn up to 90 credits toward a bachelor's for prior learning and life and work experience. Plus, we offer affordable tuition and online and hybrid classes, all with the support you need. Begin your next success soon. Undergraduate classes start June 12th. Learn more at umgc.edu. Certified to operate in Virginia by Chef.
Morning Juice is sponsored by Affinity Whole Health, the leader in testosterone and hormone replacement therapy. FeelGreatColumbus.com. The Fan.
Beamer has a very punchable face, so Bobby punches it. This is Morning Juice.
Cruising along here, Wednesday edition of the program. Brandon Beam, Bobby Carpenter, Mark the Shark. Right now we're heading out to the Bryant Heating and Cooling Systems Fan Gas Hotline check with our good friend of the Hockey Writers. He is Mark Scheig. Mark, thanks for the time, buddy. Always appreciate it. I got a new boss in town here with the Jackets. President, General Manager, alternate governor, Don Waddell appointed yesterday. Just first and foremost, Mark, I mean, good hire, bad hire. The guy's been around the league a long time. It seems like from the outside looking in that it's a good one with his recent track record of success down in Carolina.
Brandon, that's absolutely right. I think the initial reaction to hearing that they were able to get him signed is a very good thing. I mean, you mentioned a couple of the things. The experience he brings in goes back to the late 1990s with the Detroit Red Wings when they were so good. He was an assistant general manager back then. But what's going to really resonate with fans, though, is just the tremendous amount of respect that he has amongst his peers, given all the experience, given everything that he's been able to accomplish. one of the things that the Blue Jackets have needed to repair is kind of their image in the league, especially given the way that the last couple of years have gone. So to be able to land somebody like Don Waddell who brings that respect, that's a big deal, and that's why it's getting a lot of positive reviews in the early going.
So how did they land him? I mean, obviously with the success he'd had in Carolina over the last couple of years, deciding to leave there, I mean, what was the impetus for that, and how did he end up here with the Jackets?
Well, ultimately it came down his contract was expiring, and, it seemed like that the two sides felt that, after working for so long together, it was time for a change. From Waddell's perspective, it was time for a new challenge, and this opportunity came up where they knew that the contract was expiring. The Blue Jackets reached out to him. They were able to get an interview, and they were able to get it worked out together where they were able to find a way to bring him in, especially with all the titles, to be the club's president of hockey ops, to be the general manager, to be the alternate governor, and then to have John Davidson move to a senior advisor role. It was very clear from the beginning the Blue Jackets were looking for experience, somebody that can make a lot of tough decisions. And at this point in time, Don Waddell fit everything that ownership, that Mike Priest was looking for, and they were able to get it done.
Mark, can you explain to me, and Bob, we're 5 years old, what an alternate governor is? Because I saw that John Davidson moved from president. Now he's going to be an assistant, and he's also going to be alternate governor, just for breaking down the purposes of how this organization is actually structured. Can you tell us what an alternate governor does?
Yeah, the real quick version of that, there's a Board of Governors meeting that takes place a few different times throughout the year at different places throughout the country, where the general managers and maybe some other people get together that have that title. So it's basically someone that represents the team in those kind of meetings. So Jarmo Kekalainen was an alternate governor when he was here. Now Don Waddell is going to have that title. John Davidson had that title. So when there's a meeting like that, one of those guys will be representing the Blue Jackets. Mike Priest also, I believe, is considered governor as well. So usually you have someone who represents the team, and then you have alternates in the event someone is not available. So it's those to be able to give input on the big things that come up in those kind of meetings, like if it's rules of the league or just a lot of different things along those lines on the business side.
He is Mark Scheig of the Hockey Writers with us here on the Bryant Heating and Cooling Systems Fan Guest Hotline. We were reading into it, Mark, and I don't know if you would agree with this, that, JD kind of stepping back and taking away his president role, and again, becoming kind of an advisor and then that alternate governor, which he already was, kind of as a phasing out process for him. Are we reading that the wrong way?
No, I don't think you are. I mean, there's been word out there, especially given he had the surgery last year on his back, getting up there in age a little bit, that there's always been talk around him wanting, thinking about the retirement word. Now, he had come out and said he's not ready to retire yet, but he said that if it was the right candidate, that they would be willing to look for someone in the president of hockey operations role. And as soon as Don Waddell became available, that was the kind of candidate that he was willing to kind of start the phase out process a little bit. So he'll still very much be around in the background. Just Don Waddell is going to be the main decision maker. And I think we're going to find out a lot more today when they have the press conference this afternoon about how that's all going to work out, how the front office is going to shake out, and what exactly John Davidson is going to do in a senior advisor role. But I don't think you're looking too much into that at all.
So, one of the things I think is a challenge in Columbus, it's not a traditional hockey market, obviously, the team being about 20 years old. And, it's not like going to Boston or Toronto or wherever it might be. Carolina, I feel like, kind of fits in that similar mold. Mark, I mean, can you talk about maybe the similarities there and how Don has built a team that has been really, really competitive over the last 3 or 4 years, and maybe some of the challenges that would be faced in both Raleigh and in Columbus?
That's a really good question, Bobby, because you're right. They're very similar in mold. And I think in Carolina, what really stuck out for Waddell is the fact that he had really good people working around him. Like, you always hear the names like Eric Tulsky, who worked under, Tom Dundon. I think it's a little bit of a rep for maybe not spending as much, but I think it's smart spending. I think the important thing there was they had a really good, smart brain trust making decisions. And when you are in a smaller market like that, you have to have that. If you don't have the biggest budget in the world, like the Torontos and the Bostons of the world, there's other ways to build a winning team. And Waddell was part of a team that was able to do that in Raleigh. I mean, the results speak for themselves. You talk about good drafting, good decisions on signings. That's what made them successful. And if the Blue Jackets are going to go down that road, they needed someone with experience who can come in, maybe not be emotionally attached to what is currently on the team, and be willing to make tough decisions. And look at the decisions they have to come up to make here as of late. What to do with Patrick Laine, what to do with Elvis Merzlikins, how's the front office going to look? Is Pascal Vincent going to be the coach? That's all going to lay at the feet of Don Waddell. So to have someone of experience like that who's seen a lot and been through a lot is going to be an asset for the Blue Jackets, and having that success in Carolina certainly is not going to hurt.
I know it's a laundry list of to-do items for him. What's first and foremost? What's most pressing to you, Mark?
That's a really good question as well. I mean, you have the combine and the draft coming up. My understanding is that he'll be allowed to be on the draft floor, sitting at the table, even though he was just with Carolina. I think we'll get some clarity on that. So once they get through that, look at the RFAs they have to sign. There's a bunch of young players that have to get new contracts. So that's where I think the most pressing thing is going to be. And then they ultimately have to decide if Pascal Vincent is going to be the coach as well. And then some of the other situations, like we mentioned, Laine and Merzlikins will kind of come after that. Big laundry list, but they have to decide about which young players are going to be part of this organization moving forward, and Waddell's going to have to make that decision.
So Waddell also not a very young man at all. I mean, he's closer to John Davidson's age. Do you feel like this is probably a last stop job for him?
It very well could be. It really just depends on how much longer he wants to do it. I mean, the fact that he wanted to come to Columbus, wanted to talk to the Blue Jackets, and wanted to come here, does say that the Blue Jackets are in a pretty good position. I mean, he's coming into a situation where he's got some of the best prospect pool in the National Hockey League, and it's a multi-year contract that he signed. So it's very possible it could be a last ride. But I believe it'll be for long enough for him to get the Blue Jackets going in the right direction, and hopefully in the mold of the Hurricanes where they become a perennial playoff contender. But yeah, it's very possible it could be one of those last ride situations.
Mark, always appreciate the time. Thanks for hopping on with us here this morning. Have a great day. Enjoy the press conference today, buddy. And we'll check in again soon, all right?
Sounds good, guys. Have a great day.
There he goes, Mark Scheig, the Hockey Writers, with us here on the Bryant Heating and Cooling Systems Fan Guest Hotline. By the way, press conference 1 o'clock. You can listen to that right here on the Fan during Rothman and Ice. One former Buckeye got some added help in his young NFL career. That and Quick Hitters next. Morning Juice right here on the Fan.
Fan traffic.
From the Atlas Butler Plumbing Services Traffic Center.
Hey there, and good morning. Right now, no crashes to let you know about, but we are tracking a foggy commute, especially for those of you coming in from the far east side. Watch for slower speeds on I-70 coming in from the Etna-Pataskala area. I'm 10 TV's Amy Steigerwald with your Fan Traffic.
Fan Traffic is sponsored by Glow Fiber. Glow Fiber Business is now in Ohio. With prepackaged and customized fully fiber optic business internet solutions, call 1-833-WANT-GLOW or visit glowfiberbusiness.com today.
Marty Brenneman here for Tri-State Men's Health, the leader in men's sexual health for treating erectile dysfunction and low testosterone issues. And they're the leader for a reason, because I can tell you from my own experience of being treated there, Tri-State Men's Health is top shelf. Far too many men wait to get their ED treated, but I want to tell you today that you shouldn't wait any longer. If you're suffering with ED and are like most guys, a medical team at Tri-State Men's Health will get you back on track fast. They have the experience, they have the treatment protocols, and they know what they're doing. At Tri-State Men's Health, they have ED treatments that are effective in well over 90% of men. They can even combine treatments for better results. You might even find yourself performing like you haven't in years. So make an appointment today. Your initial visit is just $99 and includes blood work, a medical consult, and if medically advised, a test dose. And if that test dose doesn't work in the office, your visit is free. Call 800-900-9654 or go to tristatemenshealth.com. They have 6 offices in the tri-state area to serve you.
Check engine light on? Take the guesswork out of your check engine light with O'Reilly Veriscan. It's free and provides a report with solutions based on over 650 million vehicle scans verified by ASE certified master technicians. And if you need help, we can recommend a shop for you. Ask for O'Reilly Veriscan today.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Hot under the collar? Call Care Heating and Cooling and we'll fix that fast. 1-800-COOLING.
We go to war for you.
I'm attorney Robert Scherger of Scherger Shannara Trial Attorneys. When it comes to accidents and injuries, we're here to fight for you. Get a free consultation today and know your rights. Results matter to us because we go to war for your family. Warforyou.com.
The Fan is your home for NBA playoff action. Catch every game of the conference finals and NBA finals on The Fan and ESPN Columbus. How does one listen to such magical things? On the Fan app, silly. Download the 97.1 The Fan app today. Do it.
A slimmed down Scotty Vegas here, and I had a bit of a surprise this week. I weighed myself after Memorial Day weekend, and I hadn't gained a pound back of the 42 pounds I lost with Awaken 180. Not a pound after a weekend of eating wings. And Scotty like wingy, drinking tequila, and even a transfusion on the golf course. I pinged my Awaken 180 coach Patrick, asked what the deal was. He said my metabolism is working the way it should now that I'm at my ideal weight. As far as not paying attention to what I eat, he said it was second nature to me now, and it is. Sure, I'm eating things like burgers and all those vanilla ice cream cones, but my body doesn't require seconds or thirds of it, and I honestly don't want it. And that was the goal, to change my approach to foods, and man, Awaken 180 has accomplished that goal. If you're ready to make a change and only do it once, call the long-term solution for weight loss, Awaken 180 Weight Loss, 844-346-1800, awaken180weightloss.com.
This show's sponsored by BetterHelp Online Therapy. We blinked and 2024 is already halfway over. Pretty incredible. What's something that you've done this year you're proud of? Keep up the good work with a moment every week to hit pause, set intentions, and reset in therapy. BetterHelp offers affordable online therapy on a flexible schedule. Take a moment with BetterHelp. Visit BetterHelp.com/like today to get 10% off your first month.
Hey, are you having a hard time dealing with high-interest credit card debt? It's normal, and a SoFi personal loan could help you save thousands by consolidating your DEBT to one low fixed monthly payment. You could get $5,000 to $100,000 as soon as the same day you sign, with no fees required. It only takes 60 seconds to view your rate, and it won't affect your credit score. View your rate at SoFi.com/paid-off. Loans originated by SoFi Bank N.A. Member FDIC. Terms and conditions at SoFi.com/paid-off. NMLS 696891.
Fan weather.
From the Logan AC and Heat Services Weather Center.
Today, look for cloudy skies with a high of 70. Tonight, look for a low of 47, along with a few possible showers. Then on your Thursday, we're looking at a mostly sunny sky with a high around 70. Let's look at your latest weather forecast on 97.1 The Fan.
The Fan Guest Hotline is sponsored by Airflow Heating and Cooling and Bryant, doing whatever it takes to keep you and your home comfortable. The Fan.
If Bobby and Beamer aren't talking about it, it's not worth your time anyway. You're listening to Morning Juice.
We here on The Juice are brought to you by our good friends over at Affinity Whole Health, the leader in testosterone and hormone replacement therapy. You can always visit them on the line at feelgreatcolumbus.com.
Morning Juice presents Quick Hitters.
Sponsored by Schottenstein Roofing. For top quality and a price match guarantee, visit SchottensteinRoofing.com.
Sharky, yeah, about 40 minutes away from Coaster Bob time.
Put your arms in the air. We're going downhill. Gentlemen, on Cam Hayward's podcast earlier this month, Steelers running back Jaylen Warren floated a rumor that Justin Fields would be used as a kick returner this season, and it didn't seem like he was joking. Fields, though, implied yesterday that it was kind of a joke. The as-of-now backup quarterback hasn't played special teams since middle school and said that Pittsburgh special teams coach Danny Smith was only making a point when suggesting that Fields may return. His point being, Beamer, that no matter who you are, you could be used on special teams.
Yeah, I understand the point, and I know that is very much football coach talk. Like, you need to work your way up through special teams. Like, I get it. It's also, you're talking about a quarterback in the NFL who has given, 2.5 years of service to the Bears and what was a terrible run of luck for him and terrible organization management. When this came out, Bob, I'm like, there's no way they're going to use him as kick returner. I mean, I know he's a special athlete, and we all know that, and we've seen the highlights that came out of Chicago, but if he's going to be the quarterback for this team, you're not going to throw him in at kick returner. And
he's unlimited, Beam.
No. Russ is unlimited, all right? Justin,
they might be unlimited together.
I don't know, but I saw this yesterday when Fields said it, and as he kind of laughed it off, I'm like, okay, good. I'm glad that cooler heads kind of prevailed here, and we're not actually trying to have the biggest brain in the room and put Justin Fields back at kick returner.
Well, I don't think Mike Tomlin would have been a big advocate of that, your backup quarterback, using him in that way, but I think Fields could probably do it.
Yeah,
he's
he can definitely
enough,
do it.
But the problem is that the way Rustler's been playing and the way he runs around and the way Fields might even end up being the starter, I don't know if it's critical or essential that you would want to have him back there. You want to have him ready to go and have him on the field playing quarterback. So it's going to be interesting to kind of see how this battle plays out. But coaches make these points all the time about things guys have done early in their career on special teams, and I'm sure he was just making a point to the young guys.
Houston Texans receiver Nico Collins was nothing special his first 2 seasons in the NFL. 33 catches as a rookie, then 37 in year 2, 3 total touchdowns in 2 years. But Nico exploded last season with C.J. Stroud as his quarterback. 80 catches, 1,300 yards, 8 touchdowns, 16 yards per catch. And that has resulted in a rather big payday. Bobby, Nico Collins gets a 3-year deal worth nearly $73 million, $52 million guaranteed.
Well, they're smart. They got ahead of it. They paid him. He's played really well. Last year, he needs to thank C.J. Stroud for his arrival. Mm-hmm. And it goes to show as a receiver, you need a good quarterback to be good. You just can't go out there and have some slap throw the ball within 5 yards of you and expect you to catch it all the time. And so you see good receivers, when they lose their good quarterbacks, it's tough for them. Nico Collins has definitely benefited from CJ. He's improved as well. They have a great young core, and it's good to see Houston trying to keep this together.
Interesting to see how much he's able to work that ball around to all their different pieces. They have a ton of different options. Remember, too, Joe Mixon signed there in the offseason as well. Dalton Schultz got another contract extension down there. Tank Dell coming off of what was it? Monstrous rookie season. Yep. So you got him, you got Nico Collins, again, you got Dalton Schultz. Noah Brown, right? Taking another deal down in Houston. Yeah. I think he signed a contract extension too.
This is going to be his 8th year.
Good wow, is it really?
Yeah.
Man, that's crazy to think. But yeah, good for Nico Collins, good for CJ Stroud. Again, Sharky, you had mentioned the stats before. It is pretty mesmerizing to look at. Good NFL receiver. He's a guy on a roster. 446 yards, 1 touchdown in his first year. 481 and 2 in his second year. Then the third upon the arrival of Mr. Stroud down in H-Town. He just went ballistic. Almost 1,300 yards, 8 touchdowns. Yep. It's pretty remarkable to think of what guy inside of the organization, the right draft pick at the right time with the right pairing of coaches and staff can do. And now all of a sudden we go from the Houston Texans trying to tank for the number 1 overall pick. Lovie Smith going for it. Ended up taking C.J. Stroud at number 2 instead of maybe Bryce Young number 1. And now we're not only talking about them competing for the AFC South, but we're talking about them perhaps even getting to a Super Bowl down there. So crazy. Good on them as an organization. I feel like they had been in flux for a while until C.J. arrived.
It's just amazing if you went back 10 years and said a receiver will make $1.5 million per game, 20 years ago, they were making that in a season, right? Making it per game. Crazy. The Florida Gators were 5-7 last season, 3-5 in the SEC. In fact, over the past 2 seasons, the Gators are 11-14, 6-10 in the SEC. Somehow, Billy Napier has survived in Gainesville, but his warm seat got rather hot this offseason when he was sued by quarterback Jaden Rashada. He has been accused of fraud after he and a booster allegedly reneged on a $13.8 million NIL deal with Rashada, who signed with Florida but never enrolled. Napier isn't allowed to comment on the litigation, but did tell reporters yesterday that he has confidence in his legal team, Beamer, and is comfortable with his actions.
Yeah, and then he also followed it up. I love the follow-up. I'm not going to talk about it, And then he talks about it. He said, this narrative, it's been out there a long time.
Yeah.
I think we got that question 2 years ago, year and a half ago. I don't think it's necessarily slowed us down. It's not the only lawsuit involving
What has
a coach.
slowed you down then? Because your team stinks.
Yeah, it's not the only lawsuit involving a coach over the last year. It won't be the last. We have a legal system. People have rights to pursue as they view grievances, and the legal system that sorts it out. So our buddy Mike Bennett, he texted me about this over the weekend because I guess he was like reading up on the case. I don't know if during his bar prep, like he went into it. It's like, let's see what's happening. And it was funny. It's funny because Mike just texted me. He goes, Rashad is definitely going to get some of that money. I don't know if it's going to be all of it. He's like, but he's definitely going to get some.
Oh, if they have enough evidence of what is being accused, then yes, he will be entitled to some. I love that Billy Napier, like you said. I'm not going to talk about it.
But here's other.
It's
other
what
things
you
going
say
on.
after the but that really matters, and then also the fact that him saying this hasn't slowed us down. All right, Billy. Well, what has slowed you down? Because you've won like a total of 8 or 9 games in the last 2 years. If you get to 4 or 5 wins this year, that's going to be another Herculean accomplishment, and you might not be long for that job.
I just don't know what they're doing down there. I don't know
what they're doing
plan.
back
I don't know
there.
what their plan is. I really
Billy,
don't.
the meatloaf.
What's going on with you? Like taking a look at their schedule too.
Mom!
They get Miami to start off the year, so you got
just read their schedule off.
Miami. First game out of the gates.
Probably not a win.
Samford.
We'll check that in the win box.
A&M.
Texas.
At home, yep.
Nope.
At Mississippi State.
Maybe one of those first two. I'll give them one for both.
Home against UCF.
I don't know about that one.
At Tennessee, no. Home against Kentucky, I'm not sure.
Don't think so, probably.
Home against Georgia.
Definitely not.
World's biggest cocktail party. At Texas.
Nope.
Home against LSU.
Nope.
Home against Ole Miss.
Nope.
At Florida State.
Nope. So, like, they need to win that UCF game. Like, they might be the 3rd or 4th best team in Florida. Like, if they lose to Miami, UCF, and Florida State, which is a very real possibility, I want you to think about how that would look and feel.
Probably not very good if you're a Gators fan.
And Billy Napier, who might be on his way out.
He could very well be. The Buckeyes are incredibly big favorites in some games this year. We'll get into that and the re-rack coming up next. Morning Jupes right here on The Fan.
Fan traffic.
From the Atlas Butler Plumbing Services Traffic Center.
Happy Wednesday to you. Right now, no crashes that we are tracking across central Ohio. However, we are watching a foggy commute for those of you on the far east side. Expect slower speeds coming in on I-70 near the Etna-Pataskala area. I'm 10 TV's Amy Steigerwald with your Fan Traffic.
Fan Traffic sponsored by Custom Air. This is the time of year when you can get sunburn and frostbite in the same week. Don't let your house feel the same. Be prepared. Schedule an appointment today at CustomAirColumbus.com.
What's up, sandwich heads? Today on Steve-O's Sandwich Reviews, we've got the tips and tricks to the best sandwich order. And it all starts with this little guy right here. The crisp, refreshing taste of Pepsi Zero Sugar. Every bite is better with Pepsi.
Join Pepsi and the Greater Columbus Arts Council for the Columbus Arts Festival, June 7th through 9th along the downtown riverfront. 250 artists, 4 stages of music, dance, theater, and spoken word, activities for families, great food, and much more. ColumbusArtsFestival.org.
This offer is only available at Reichert Ford. 0% financing for 72 months on every 2023 Ford F-150 in stock. Take advantage of Reichert's rate before it's too late. Lock in your 0% rate and take a new truck home today. Thousands of vehicles are waiting at ReichertFord.com.
See dealer for details. N6324.
Exclusively at Reichert Ford. 0% for 72 months is now available on every new 23 F-150 in stock. Hundreds of trucks at ReichertFord.com. We're dealing.
Get the right car at Reichert.
We're dealing.
There's a little slice of heaven in a country road's escape. Pure perfection in the form of uncrowded nature. Over 1.5 million acres of parks and public lands. From mountain biking to stargazing. Churning white water to quiet trout streams far off the grid. Almost heaven is down to earth in West Virginia. Plan your getaway now at wvtourism.com.
Robert Half research indicates 9 out of 10 hiring managers are having difficulty hiring. If you have open roles, chances are you're feeling this too. That's why you need Robert Half. Our specialized recruiting professionals engage with our proprietary AI to connect businesses of all sizes with highly skilled talent in finance and accounting, technology, marketing and creative, legal, and administrative and customer support. At Robert Half, we know talent. Visit roberthalf.com today.
Something amazing is happening here. AI is increasing workloads on CPUs and GPUs. But this company's laptops are more than keeping pace. That's because CDW worked with them to future-proof their laptop fleet by configuring them with devices enabled with AMD Ryzen AI. Improve performance and free up resources with AMD Ryzen and CDW. Make amazing happen. Find out more at cdw.com/AMD client.
Broadcasting from the Lindsay Honda Studios.
Honda makes the cars, Lindsay makes the difference. Visit lindsayhonda.com.
WBNS-FM, HD1 Columbus. The Fan. Sports Center.
Good morning, I'm Mark the Shark. The Reds' longest winning streak of the season was snapped at Great American Ballpark. Nolan Arenado and Nolan Gorman each hit 2-run homers as St. Louis whipped Cincinnati 7-1, snapping the Reds' 4-game streak. In Denver, the Guardians used the long ball to outscore the Rockies 13-7. Jose Ramirez hit a 2-run homer, Josh Naylor a 2-run homer, David Fry a 3-run shot, and then Naylor a 3-run homer. In the NBA, the Timberwolves are still alive in the Western Conference Finals, facing elimination in Dallas. Minnesota came up with a 105-100 victory over the Mavericks, who still lead the series 3-1. The NHL's Eastern Conference Finals are even at 2-2 following Florida's 3-2 overtime win against the Rangers. Sam Reinhart scored just 72 seconds in OT to win it for the Panthers. The Sports Center is sponsored by Dr. Mark Levy. If you're snoring and not sleeping, give Mark Levy a call at 1-800-MORE-SLEEP or visit him online at sleepbettercolumbus.com.
Miss a minute of the show?
Check out the podcast wherever you get your podcasts. Type in Morning Juice and subscribe.
This is Morning Juice.
Hour number 2 of the program for us on a Wednesday. Brandon V, Bobby Carpenter, Mark the Shark. Coming up here in our next segment around 7:20, and then throughout the 7 o'clock hour, Buckeye Lathan Ransom. He's going to join the program, talk about what's going on with him. Going to hang out, talk a little sports, all kinds of good things. So Lathan Ransom going to join us in studio. Coming up here in our next segment around 7:20, 8:05 this morning, about an hour away from right now, Steve Helwagen of Bucknuts. He's going to join the program. We'll talk some Buckeyes. And then Jeff Risdon of Lions Wire and Draft Wire and the Detroit Lions podcast. He's going to round out the program for us on a nice little Wednesday coming up here around 8:35, a little bit later on.
Keeping you informed about what's trending this morning. It's time for a little re-rack on Morning Juice.
Sponsored by Billiards Plus, your destination for top-of-the-line grills with up to 30-year warranties. Billiards Plus on Dublin Center Drive in Dublin.
Blue Jackets appointed a new general manager yesterday. Don Waddell became official. We talked to Mark Scheig of the Hockey Writers in the 6 o'clock hour. If you want to go back and take a listen to our podcast, you can do that wherever you get your podcast from. But they announced it yesterday, Bob. Takes over as president of hockey ops, general manager, and alternate governor, which means John Davidson going to take a step back. He's been the president of hockey operations for 10 out of the last 12 years. He is now going to serve as senior advisor and alternate governor. Don Waddell will be introduced today in a press conference, which you can listen to live right here on The Fan. So all kinds of different stuff, man. Hope is not a strategy, but I hope for the Jackets' sake that we can get this sucker turned around.
We talked earlier. It is. This is, I think, a good move for the Jackets because you love Don Waddell. He was down there in Carolina, and they're a very similar makeup as far as, I would say, the situation that they're in is similar to the Jackets. You know, it was a team that moved there. It wasn't a new franchise of his heart. Who moved down there? Is that Hartford? The Whalers, I believe.
Yeah.
And so they moved down
Canada's team.
Yes, according to Chops. But, you know, they go down there. It's not a traditional hockey market. And he's built a winner. Like, they don't have huge financial support there. They're in Raleigh, not even in Charlotte. And they've done a good job building a winner there the last, 5-6 years. So hopefully he'll be able to go do that here in Columbus. Found out the alternate governor, courtesy of Mark Scheig. The governors are the ones that represent the franchise, the organization at some of these ownership meetings, essentially. And so he'll have the ability to go there and be a part of that, should he be needed. This is a pretty exciting development. I think this is probably the best guy you could have gotten.
Oh, and you got him late, too.
Yeah. Well, I think they were waiting till his contract was up, and he parted ways with Carolina. They said he's going to be getting paid more here, and that is what I like to see, that, you know what, you're going to go get a guy who's good, and has done it in a similar situation, and you're willing to outpay someone else for him, which is key.
Also, I mean, you're literally charging it to winning, we hope. So he's going to be introduced today at 1 o'clock. Again, you can listen to that press conference live on the Fan, or you can fire up our YouTube stream. It will, be streamed there at 1 o'clock as well. Wolves 105, Mavs 100. Back to Game 5 we go. Up in Minnesota, Bob. 3-1 series advantage now to Dallas. Minnesota stealing that game on the road last night, not having a double sweep. So we got that going for us in the NBA playoffs. Again, Celtics awaiting the winner of that series. That gets going next Thursday, I believe. So still 8 days away till the finals start. But Game 5 back in Minnesota.
Yeah, I'll give you a little something else to watch. 2 sweeps would have been rough.
It would have been.
Would have been very rough. And so Minnesota rising up last night, getting a victory. Good to see. I think they probably still get them in a gentleman's sweep.
I don't know, man. You're going back to Minnesota for Game 5. That place is going to be hostile.
Maybe it does go to Game 6, and that might not be bad. But we'll see. I think Dallas is going to be the presumptive final. I can't imagine them coming back from being down 3-0, but we'll see.
Panthers 3, Rangers 2, NHL Stanley Cup playoffs. That game went to double overtime last night. Series is now tied 2 games a pop. So we got that going over on the East.
A little battle in the East.
Oh, sure.
Battle of the former Jackets.
Stars at Oilers tonight in the NHL Stanley Cup playoffs as well. I was watching the golf last night, man. It was a tough way for the Buckeyes to finish out. So they beat Vanderbilt in the quarterfinals. Vanderbilt was the number 2 seed in the NCAA tournament. Buckeyes earning the 7th seed through the way that they played. It was 2-2. So the way that they play this, Bob, was 5-on-5 match play, right?
Yep.
Just straight up match play. And so Adam Wallen was down 2 heading to the 17th hole. All right, down 2. So down 2 holes. So like he needs to win 17 and 18 to be able to force this thing into a playoff. Well, guess what? He did. He won 17. He won 18. They go back to the par 3 16th hole. They both tie on that. They go to 17, both players in trouble. Wallen made an unbelievable 10-footer. Had some break to it to force it to the 18th, which would have been the 21st playoff hole that these guys were playing. And unfortunately, he did lose to a birdie on the 21st and 18th hole of the day. So, it stunk. The Buckeyes came so close. Auburn's been the best team all year long. Been the best team in golf all year long. They have 8 team wins. And they were able to clip Vanderbilt yesterday, but just came up a little shy against Auburn, but still a terrific season. It was a great match. Great match.
Nice. Well, good stuff. That's it's tough. Like you said, came up just a bit short around the outside looking in, so good for them. You know what else came up a little? Well, it didn't come up short. We got it done yesterday, Beam. I had to move a hot tub from my neighbors.
And you've been telling me about this thing. It's
because my neighbor had it, and he's like, we bought it first, used it for a year. He goes, it sat there for 2 years. He's like, I had it drained, whatever. And he's like, no one ever used it. So he goes, I want my patio back. If you want it, you can have it. And that's like a gift to both people. The gift is getting it out of there. And then the other gift is if you can get it, then it's yours, and it's a hot tub on the house or on your back. And the logistics of getting it out there, Beam, was in the backyard. There was a fence. We had to get it around through a gate. So that involved tipping it vertically. So I got my brother, one of his buddies that he works with, they came over. My brother's like a gorilla. Like, he's a human gorilla. So anytime I have him there, I feel good. And my thing is, like, can I get one other, like, gorilla-ish man to help me out? And so Scheig was supposed to help, and then he had some other stuff come up with the Buckeyes. The schedules changed. And so he had one of his friends came over who was actually an intern at Ohio State when we were there. He was the head strength coach at Northwestern for a long time. He's going to help Scheig at the Armory. He's running a lot of his stuff. He's awesome.
The guy with the mustache?
No, this dude does not have a mustache. He's got a little beard. But he came and brought one of their other dudes who played football at Mount Union, bigger guy. So I was like, okay. So I told Jay, I was like, he goes, Scheig can't come. I'm going to bring a guy. He goes, as long as he's stronger than you, I'm good. Because I know I'm stronger than you. And I need someone who, he's like, he'll be able to hold his own. So we had those 5. And so we had to get this hot tub out. We got a cart, thankfully, that had these huge wheels. They were using the wood. We were able to get it around to the side. And then we had to tip it vertically on the cart. Now, this hot tub is 89 inches by 89 inches. It's not a small hot tub. It is a large hot tub.
Okay.
And so
7.5 feet by 7.5.
Yeah, so we had to get it vertically then on the cart. So we had to pick it up. We got it underneath the cart. And then thankfully Scheig's got there for the second turn. He came out of nowhere. He's calling everybody. And I'm like, dude, just my truck's out in the front yard. It's 2 houses down. You drove by it when
you can see people.
There's a trailer like attached to it in the driveway. What do you think it's there for? So he ends up coming, helps to get it vertically. We get it through the gate, get it sideways. And then here comes the problem is we have to figure out how to get it on the trailer. We didn't have a flatbed, so it's going to be kind of sitting at an angle on one of the rails, but it's lower rails. So we have it on the cart, and we have it vertical. And so we're going to tip it over onto the trailer. Now, that seems like the easiest way to go about and do it. But the thing was, like, as we slide, number one, it weighs 900 pounds. You're going to have 900 pounds, at an angle coming into the next person. It's like 2 or 3 people standing on the trailer to slow it down. But then the issue is once it starts coming down, will it slide back? It's a little bit of a Titanic issue with the boat. Will it snap off? Will that thing slide back? Because if it slides back, then
the people on the back end of it, watch out.
You're going to cut in half is what's going to happen. You're going to look like the one chariot rider in Gladiator when the thing comes in half. I mean,
the scythes on the wheels.
Best case scenario breaks both your femurs, and you can still walk in 9 to 12 months. But I tell Jay's beside me, and so Schleg's and I were on like the one end, Jay's in the middle. He says, what do? I go, if this thing starts to slide, I'm going to jam my knee underneath it. I suggest you do the same, and Schleg's, you do as well. I think one of our legs for all 3 of us will be able to each support roughly 300 pounds with a little speed to it. If it's any less than 3 of us, the leg tibia is getting shattered.
Hold!
It's basically what it was. And so this thing's tipping, I'm waiting, and it really didn't slide that much. We were able to like get into it and wedge it, slide it on over, and I was like, all right. It only took about 20, 25 minutes. And so I was pretty proud of how we were able to get that done because it had an opportunity to be devastating. It's either A, do a bunch of work and then like drop or crack the hot tub, B, someone gets severely injured. And then so we had some wood slats, so we were sitting it under, and George's like, yeah, get those out of there. So he's like, we'll pick it up. And he's like, just push those under. I'm like, push those under. If this thing drops on my fingers, my hand won't be trapped.
It'll be gone.
My fingers will be gone on the other side. I'll have a hoof as a hand. And so like punching through the little wood slats that we had used to slide it down. But it was good. And
how do you get it off now?
That's what she said. And it's going to be a tougher scenario because when I get down there, I'm hoping to maybe have my brother, maybe a couple other guys. We have to get it there. The problem is, it's up on an inset deck. There's a hole. Getting it down in that aforementioned hole is going to be hard. Onto the deck and then down into the hole is going to be another challenge. So I'll keep you posted on that. I want to at least get it out of my driveway and down to Portsmouth in the next couple days. That's a goal of mine. I don't like having things sitting around, and especially because I'm getting mulch delivered here this week. So I want to get that done. But the back was a little tender today. I woke up and I was trying to think why. It's like, all right, you're zero deadlifting something from the ground. It was good. I was thankfully had that cart and thankfully had the people that showed up. But I will give you a follow-up beam when it arrives down in Portsmouth and how we're going to be able to then navigate it to its final resting place, if you will.
I'm glad that nobody lost a limb and or a flange.
Or a life.
I'm glad that everybody navigated it safely and you got it on the back of the trailer without any damage.
Well, if it would have just straight up tipped over on someone, that could have just
killed you dead.
Yeah, it would have maybe killed you dead. I mean, I can't say that for certain, but depending on your bone structure and where it hit, there's a good chance it may have crushed you.
Can you take a guess at what the Buckeye spread against Akron is?
I don't know. 35.5.
50.5.
That's a lot.
That's a lot of points. Saw that it opened up. It's not on FanDuel just yet, but it did open up across different sports books. It's the 3rd time Ohio State has been 50-plus point favorites since 2013. They were a 50-point favorite against Florida A&M in 2013. And then against what would have been known as Rutger, they have since earned their S. They are a 52-point favorite in 2019.
Okay.
52-point favorite. That's a Big Ten game.
Did they get the covers on any of those?
Let's see. Florida A&M 2013.
I think we scored 73 or 76, something like that.
Yeah, I think we were in the 70s for that one. What would you say the other game was?
It would have been Rutgers in 2019. That was 76-0 in the Florida A&M game. And then Ohio State Rutgers back in 2019.
I don't think we got the cover on that.
Man, that
56-21. No, he didn't.
Yeah, I gave up. It's to cover a 50-point number, your defense has to be locked in.
Well, and they have to play all 4 quarters.
Yeah.
You know,
you can't give up garbage at the
starters
end.
are gone, yeah.
You can't give up, I feel like, any points. Rutgers scored 14 points in the last 2 quarters in the second half. So
that's
yeah. I saw
feeling.
50 and a half. My
35 is something I feel better about. 50 is
that's 5. I mean, 35 is 5 touchdowns.
Yeah.
50 and a half is 7+.
And you can't give up really anything.
Of a margin of victory.
So I'm saying if you score 63, you better not be giving up 2 touchdowns.
Okay. Lathan Ransom. He's going to hang out with us coming up next. Morning Juice right here on The Fan.
Fan traffic.
From the Atlas Butler Plumbing Services Traffic Center.
Happy Wednesday to you. Right now, no crashes that we are tracking across central Ohio. However, we are watching a foggy commute for those of you on the far east side. Expect slower speeds coming in on I-70 near the Etna-Pataskala area. I'm 10 TV's Amy Steigerwald with your fan traffic.
If you're about to get engaged or ready to walk down the aisle, your true love deserves a true jeweler, the Diamond Seller. As a true jeweler, we not only have designer collections to meet your bridal needs, but we also have talented in-house designers who can create something truly one of a kind. Visit the Diamond Seller today.
I'm Tiffany, founder of Harlem Pilates. When I couldn't find Pilates in my neighborhood, I started a studio from my studio apartment. Chase Inc. helped me grow from 1 Pilates studio to 3. Because when you start small, you're going to need some big help.
With the Chase Inc. Business Cash Card, you can earn up to 5% cash back on business essentials, so your business can go from here to possible. Chase for business. Make more with yours. Real business owner compensated for their participation. Cards issued by J.P. Morgan Chase Bank, N.A. member FDIC, subject to credit approval. Terms apply.
For roof leaks and roof replacements, call Legacy Roofing Services, Central Ohio's commercial roofing leader. Legacy Roofing Services, ranked in the top 100 roofers in America. Call Legacy today, 800-880-ROOF, 800-880-ROOF. Legacy Roofing Services.
Common Man and T-Bone here for the Sportsbook at Hollywood Casino Columbus. It is almost that time for Columbus's biggest golf event of the year.
Yep, the Sportsbook at Hollywood Casino is giving away all sorts of prizes for their Memorial Wager and Win drawings on Thursday, June 6th at 6 p.m.
When?
Thursday, June 6th at 6 p.m.
You can win fabulous prizes like Memorial Tournament tickets, golf clubs, and more now until June 6th.
Must be 21 years or older. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-589-9966.
I'm Kelly Burris, a partner at Cordell & Cordell. If you're a business owner, navigating through divorce presents unique challenges. You're thrust into a world where every penny you've earned is examined and your assets are on the line. These situations demand a tactical defense rooted in nuanced financial expertise. When your life's work is at stake, you need a partner who's as invested in your case as you are in your business.
Schedule an appointment with one of Cordell & Cordell's Columbus area attorneys. 10 West Broad Street, Suite 1550, Columbus, Ohio, 43215. CordellCordell.com.
If you're obsessed with fantasy sports and gambling things, we have the slightly above average radio show for you. On the Money with Dave Biddle and Scotty Vegas.
Presented by the Sportsbook at Hollywood Casino Columbus.
Wednesday night at 8 on The Fan.
We see it every day. A guy comes into the men's clinic and guess what? The pills quit working, or they're sick of the side effects. And you know what else we see? Guys not confident in their relationship. At Columbus Men's Clinic, we're the leaders in bedroom confidence. Understanding if you even need ED or low T treatment should be the first step. And the next should be choosing the treatment or treatment combination to build your confidence. Our urologist and physician group is offering professional, modern treatments with success rates as high as 92% and decades of experience. Our doctors are not going to send you an email with what might work for most people. We are results-driven. Concierge. You don't pay for medication, it's included, but you invest in the time it takes to get you where you want to be. We've built an experience with discretion that takes the worry out of going to the doctor. In fact, we've normalized it for guys all over Columbus. Come see our friendly team in Columbus and find out why we've been #1 in men's health for years. Get a consultation and low T blood work with results on your first visit for $99. Get your confidence back in the bedroom and beyond. Go to columbusmensclinic.com and book your appointment today. columbusmensclinic.com.
Low Fiber Business is now in Ohio, and your business is our priority. Low Fiber delivers reliably fast, custom, and prepackaged internet plans to meet the growing needs of your business. And our dependable 24/7 personal support means your business stays connected. Low Fiber is here, and we mean business. Find out more at 833-WANT-GLOW or visit glowfiberbusiness.com today. Glow Fiber Business is not available in all areas. Restrictions apply.
2 guys drove to work. Neither guy wore a seatbelt. One guy got a ticket. One guy didn't. The same 2 guys drove home. One guy wore his seatbelt. One guy didn't. One guy made it home. The guy not wearing his seatbelt didn't. Don't risk it. Click it or ticket. Paid for by NHTSA.
Fan weather.
From the Logan AC and Heat Services Weather Center.
Heading out the door today, we are looking at showers out there on the roadways. 70 degrees is the high temperature today. Tonight we drop down to 47. And then on your Thursday, the sunshine is back. We're looking at a high of 71. That's your latest weather report on 97.1 The Fan.
FanDuel is the exclusive online sportsbook partner of Morning Juice. Just sign up at FanDuel.com/juice. The Fan, Ohio's sports destination.
Panic and passion. Is that a motivational quote or the title of an adult romance novel? You're listening to Morning Juice.
Here's Long here, Wednesday edition of the program. Brandon B, Bobby Carpenter, Mark the Shark. We are now joined in studio by Buckeye Lathan Ransom. Lathan, thanks for the time, buddy. How's everything been since we last checked in last week? All right?
I appreciate you guys having me again. And yeah, man, it's been good. We had a little break for Memorial Day, so went on a church retreat. Like I was kind of telling you guys. Then went and seen Chip in Kentucky, and then picked my girlfriend up and surprised her with a bunch of stuff. So had a pretty busy weekend.
Driving down south, down to the 513 beam.
You said it was the first time you had ever been to the state of Kentucky, correct?
Yeah, it's my first time being in Kentucky, and like I was saying, the Midwest it's just all one big place. Like all the Midwest states are all the same, and they all look the same. The people all are the same, talk the same. So it's pretty funny just compared to the West Coast.
Well, it's different in the fact that, too, I mean, some of the states are big, but they're like oblong shapes. Like you can go from Cincinnati down to Nashville in a couple, probably 4 hours, because Kentucky and Tennessee are thin. Mm-hmm. Whereas you get out like Arizona, Utah, Montana, like those states are giant squares. And so to like get from one state to the next is taking hours upon hours. Where here it's a little bit easier, and you got some more cities in between. But you're talking about, you've lived here now 5 years. This will be your 5th year.
Yeah.
So when you move, we were talking in the last segment, I don't know if you're listening with Shark, and it was always interesting for me in college. I hated moving. I moved every year, and I just throw away a lot of stuff. Do you guys move yourselves, or do you get like movers to move your stuff to a new building?
No, so I actually have always moved myself. And it's funny thinking about, I think my freshman year going to my sophomore year when I was living with Cam Martinez, we had to move, but the way the timing of like the lease is ending is right around fall camp. So I remember the first days of fall camp, we're not staying in the hotels yet. So I'm finishing fall camp practice, coming home, and then for 2 hours, 3 hours, moving all my stuff. And man, I just remember how tired I was. And I'm the type of person, like I'm so impatient. So I wasn't going to move one day and then move the second day. Like I was going to get everything out of my house that first day. So I remember that next practice after that just being exhausted.
So do you have like a car? Do you get somebody on the team that has a truck? Like you getting mattresses out and all this stuff? Like you need a little bit of space to be able to do this.
So I've moved twice, and that first time I moved was in the same apartment to a different room. Yeah, it's because it was really because
you still got to move all the stuff.
Exactly,
it's just down the hall.
It was actually because of COVID. They didn't want 4 of us in the room. They wanted 2 of us to do that. But when we had to move from apartment to apartment, we're smashing everything Cam's little car, and it took like probably 10, 15 trips to get everything. And after that, I said I'm not moving again. So I've been stuck at the city apartments ever since.
Okay, I was gonna ask because what guys would do, we'd have a couple guys that had trucks, and actually Tress had this like old truck that someone ended up breaking. I think it broke on its own, but he would let guys utilize it. I think the axle snapped. Like I don't think it wasn't like they wrecked it. But he would let guys borrow it to be able to move back and forth because you need a truck like to get a mattress. Guys would be taking couches and stuff. You guys live in these high society places now. And we were moving like on places on East Campus. It was a mess. But if you were going to put together like a team of dudes, because we're moving this hot tub. I got my guy Scheig's over there. My one brother's super strong. A couple other guys. Like if you're going to get together a group of your teammates to help you move, 3 or 4 guys, I mean, who's on that list?
Well, I'll tell you right now, it wouldn't be any DBs. I would definitely get probably Tommy Eichenberg, Stover, probably the whole Stover family.
The whole Stover crew.
Get all of them to definitely help me, I think. But I wouldn't mess with no DBs, no receivers, and then maybe a couple old linemen in there too.
Maybe not even Sonny last year when he was in the room? I mean, does he not...
I think Sonny, Sonny a linebacker now. We don't even classify him as a DB anymore. But yeah, I'd have Sonny help.
Okay. I mean, it's always good. It's interesting to kind of hear that because the guys, number one, you have to count on them to show up.
Exactly.
That's the big thing. Like, strength is part of it, but it's, hey, man, you assemble this whole team. Like, are you going to be there when we need you? Because having like one guy out of 4 isn't going to do much.
I think also the mindset is like, I don't want someone to help me move if they're complaining the whole time. Like, that's just going to make me mad. So I think someone that's really positive, I'd also think about that when choosing.
Well, Tommy doesn't talk. So
exactly. So I don't have to worry about Tommy talking.
It's the best, literally the best money that you can spend to get movers to move you, to get them to take you from one spot to another. So on your next adventure, maybe you can go with the teammate route, but the movers are pretty impressive.
Here's the thing, and I've always wondered this. Like, I was from 40 miles away, and so I was able to drive stuff up, get things from my parents. A lot of guys, like if they come from out of state, I mean, you buy things here.
Yeah.
So have you thought about, I mean, I know this is a fast forwarding the season, but what like next January, February will look like when you are exiting, or March, whenever that is, like you have all this stuff here now. Yeah. What are we going to do with all that?
So before I had moved the first 2 times, that was before NIL. So there was no way I was paying for no movers to move everything. But now, and then also too is when I first moved, I didn't realize, because the first apartment I had was furnished.
Yeah.
I didn't realize how expensive it was to furnish a house. Like, it took me so long. Exactly. Real life to furnish my house completely. So now I'm making sure that my house is all furnished. I'm taking everything with me. Like, my house or my apartment where I'm staying, it's going to be already furnished. Like, I'm not buying anything new. And I think I haven't really thought too much about it, but some way to just save all my stuff now. And I'm definitely paying for a mover to move it all, because I'm not dealing with that myself again.
Well, it's like the great meme that you see on Twitter. It's like all a guy needs is like a lawn chair and a TV. Like
we're simple. We're simple.
You're good. I don't need artwork. Like, I'm fine. Mattress on the ground, lawn chair, TV. That's probably enough to like suffice me.
You have no idea how expensive that. Like you said, you figured it out.
Man.
But, I mean, when I got drafted, we went down and my wife and I, we got a house. It's like, I got to buy all this stuff for all these rooms.
Yeah.
Because we go into rookies' houses, they'll just be like unfurnished rooms. I'll never go in there. Like, it's me, maybe my girl, like maybe you have a kid, but guys got like a 4-bedroom house. Those have empty bedrooms. And there'll be nothing in it. And so it's like that mindset of trying to figure that out of what you're ultimately going to do with it is always a pain. And then about last year I was playing in New England, and Coach Hartline's brother was actually up there. Mm-hmm. He was with us in the off season. He played quarterback. And so he was there, and it was Anthony Gonzalez, who played receiver here with me. And so in the offseason, like, my wife wanted to come up for OTAs and family and all that. So I'll travel back and forth. So we got an apartment. We had a 2-bedroom apartment for 3 guys. I think maybe Brian's brother, Mike, was in the living room. But literally, we had mattresses on the floor. We had a TV on a box, and we had like 3 lawn chairs, and that's what we did every day.
Man, as you actually see that Devontae Smith and Jalen Hurts, how they bought smaller houses, like everyone was confused of how, like, you see their huge contracts.
Yeah.
They actually went the smart way and bought smaller houses for like them and their family. So I think that just stood out to me. That's cool that some of the players are changing, because you see about so many NFL players run out of money buying them huge houses, having to furnish it. And they're actually just taking a different route now. My wife and I say this all the time because we've got a dog. It's about a 100-pound dog. We have a 14-month-old. We could live in a 50,000 square foot house. We could live in a gigantic mansion. Yep. All 4 of us would be in the same 5 square feet of the house at the same exact time. It doesn't matter how big your house is. We're going to continue to hang out with Buckeye Lathan Ransom coming up next. Morning Juice right here on The Fan.
Fan traffic
from the Atlas Butler Plumbing Services Traffic Center.
Hey there, and good morning. Watch for lane closures on 33 eastbound out in Marysville. The right lane slightly blocked off in those eastbound lanes just beyond State Route 4. I'm 10 TV's Amy Steigerwald with your fan traffic.
Instant classics are exciting, but true legends have impact over time, like how Plant Moran has been counted on by companies and clients for the past 100 years. Counted on for advice by the workwear brand you zip up every day. Counted on for guidance by the zoos and aquariums inspiring the next generation. Counted on for a holistic approach by those growing, protecting, and sharing their wealth. From accounting to tax, consulting to wealth management, we're built year after year on the stories and success we help others achieve. Here's to the next 100 years of Plant Moran. Count on us.
Some people just know the more you protect, the more you save with Allstate, because they know insurance math. Like if you protect your home and auto, Allstate can save you up to 25%. So it's like losing money if you don't bundle. Save more when you protect more. Bundle home and auto with Allstate today.
Bundled savings vary by state and are not available in every state. Saving up to 25% is the countrywide average of the maximum available savings off the home policy. Allstate Vehicle and Property Insurance Company and affiliates, Northbrook, Illinois.
It was a quiet night in Columbus, maybe a little too quiet. Me, Philip Flapper, plumbing detective. I was finishing up for the night when she walked in. Long hair, 2 legs, a couple of arms, a nose, elbows. Pretty standard equipment for this neighborhood. I looked at her, she looked at me, and then we did that thing where we both spoke at the same time. What can I do for you? I'm sorry, that was awkward. We went on to talk about clogs, funny odors, water going down the drain too slow. This is above my pay grade, I told her, and gave her this website, apexpros.com. They're the pros who knows, the kinds of plumbers who don't mind getting their hands dirty. And believe me, what's down those pipes is dirty. Ugh, call the pros, Apex Pros. And that was it. She walked out of my life, using those legs I told you about earlier.
Hi, it's Alex, the friendly Apex Bear from Apex Pros. Apex plumbers are the pros who knows. ApexPros.com.
The Buckeye Show.
I can still remember when my dad would have me put all of my pads on, like in Pee Wee football, and just ask me to hit him, like out in the yard.
The Buckeye Show.
Sponsored by Schottenstein Roofing and Care Source.
Weeknights at 6 on The Fan.
Right now during Jeep 4x4 season, well-qualified lessees get a low-mileage lease on the 2024 Jeep Compass Limited 4x4 for $379 a month for 42 months with $3,837 due at signing. Tax, title, license extra. No security deposit required. Call 1-888-925-JEEP for details. Requires dealer contribution and lease through Stellantis Financial Services. Extra charge for miles over 35,000. Not all customers will qualify. Residency restrictions apply. Take delivery by 6/3/2024. Jeep is a registered trademark.
Bobby Carpenter here for Affinity Whole Health, the leader in the testosterone and hormone replacement therapy game. And weight loss too, that's right. Affinity offers semaglutide injections for weight loss in addition to their testosterone treatments so you can lose weight and build muscle. They customize a plan directly for you. They added peptides to my TRT. They've added semaglutide with my friend's testosterone, and the results are amazing. They're pumped about summertime and pool season, so check them out at feelgreatcolumbus.com. That's feelgreatcolumbus.com.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Subscription required. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hey guys, did you know there's a generic form of Viagra that works just the same but is 95% cheaper? And you can get it online at hims.com/joy. Through Hims, you'll get a free medical consultation to determine the ED medication that's best for you. Discreet shipping if prescribed, a 100% online process, and a range of treatment options, including trusted generic alternatives to the name brands at up to 95% off. ED is personal, and at Hims, so is treating it. Just go to hims.com/joy and get connected to a licensed medical provider online for free with zero copay, no expensive appointments, and no awkward face-to-face conversations. To start your free online visit, you need to go to this exclusive address, hims.com/joy. That's hims.com/joy for your free online visit. hims.com/joy.
Morning Juice is sponsored by Affinity Whole Health, the leader in testosterone and hormone replacement therapy. FeelGreatColumbus.com. The Fan.
Beam has a baby face. Bobby has soft hands. That should not stop you from listening to this show. This is Morning Juice.
Continuing to hang out with Buckeye Lathan Ransom with us here in studio. You can also watch on the YouTube machine. It's a new website. There's a bunch of videos on there. You just go to type in the search bar 97.1 The Fan. You can pull up the live stream on that. I mean, we were just talking in the break about, Bob, your moving prowess and how many times you've had to do that and how crazy it can be for, a person who has never been in the city before. They don't know what to expect. But I'm listening to that for the first time. I'm like, that's crazy.
Oh, it's overwhelming. I still remember I had to go back to at one point, we had stuff at 3 different locations. And so we had a couple cars in Florida. We had a lot of our furniture and everything in St. Louis, which I sublet that out to a guy after we moved on the team. So I'd go back and get everything. So actually we had one 26-foot truck that we filled. I went back to U-Haul. I was like, hey, we need another. Like, what do you mean? I'm like, I need to get what's the next biggest truck? This is the only one you got. And so we got that. And my dad, my brother-in-law, and I loaded all the stuff up and then just drove all the way back in the next day, which was brutal. So Yeah, it's there's a lot to it, man. A lot to it as you move forward. But I wanted to ask you about this because I mentioned last time we were texting a little bit. You're a dude, you're from Arizona, Tucson, Arizona, obviously, University of Arizona there. Bill Walton passed away. And so you're 20 years younger than I am. Beam's 10. Shark, you watched Bill Walton play. Do you remember what the
college and pros? Yeah.
So did you? I mean, you never saw him play. I watched the highlights of him, mostly with the Celtics when he was there at the end of his career. Do you ever? I mean, do you have any recollection of him calling games? I mean,
yeah, it's funny you say that. So, so first of all, my dad was a huge UCLA fan.
Okay, so there we go.
Exactly, but yeah. So just being, like I said, always someone who admires sports analysts and sports commentating, and then being someone in Arizona, he was every Pac-12 game he was commentating. So just being able to just listen to him and him call the game so well, and even sometimes be a little biased towards UCLA.
Oh yeah.
But man, yeah, it was someone I was always listening to and someone I honestly admire. So. Obviously prayers out to his family.
The best part, too, I think about Bill Walton is like, yeah, he would drop in some great nuggets of like actual stats and information and like stuff about the game because he was so knowledgeable. But at the same time, he could go down a path that is like totally out of left field and talk about like the stars and the universe and do like all kinds of funny stuff. But in the same time, like when he needed to be serious, he would be. So I also enjoyed him like the king of the Pac-12. You know, he admired that conference. With so much. Let's talk some ball, shall we? Year 3, Jim Knowles coming in, defensive coordinator. Year number 1 was good. Year number 2 last year, really good. How long did it take you to integrate in that system? Because I know that with him, I mean, he depends a lot on his safeties. He depends a lot on you guys kind of on the back end. What was that transition like initially for you? And now moving into year 3, I'm sure there's a way more of a comfortability factor.
Yeah, so when he first got there, it was a whole culture change, a whole culture shock, honestly. And I think we started getting so successful when everyone bought in because he brought his guys, and I think they did a great job. And the playbook from Coach Knowles to the coaches before us was way, way bigger. So just trying to get used to all the knowledge and all the different terms, everything used. It definitely took some time, but I think that was what's going to prepare us and why our defense players are going to do so good at the next level because we had to just learn a whole new system. And then year 2, obviously, better. And now year 3 is crazy. I'm like, how can Coach Knowles keep learning so much defense? Like year 3, I'm a vet. I'm taking a lot of notes, still trying to just perfect my craft and know as much knowledge as I can about the defense because he's adding new plays every day. Like he's a mad scientist when it comes to defense.
Can you take your mind now? I mean, I know that you're obviously a vet on the team, but coming in as a first year and trying to like learn everything about Ohio State and the culture and the brotherhood, let alone like when you were thrust into install packages during spring ball. Now you got summer workouts on the way, and then initially when you get to fall camp, like can you imagine what's kind of going through those guys' minds? I feel like just drinking out of a fire hose by the time that they get here.
Yeah, I always laugh is because, like I said, we had a little simpler defense when I had first got here. So for me to do that, I just think back to like what it is because it was already hard for me as a freshman to try to learn everything and be successful and everywhere because you're not just trying to be good at football. You got SASL, you got classes, you're trying to live on your own now for the first time. So there's so much going into being a freshman. So when freshmen come in and have immediate success, hats off to them because it's not as easy as it looks. But to be a freshman now, come in, I always joke around with some of the older guys like I couldn't imagine trying to learn this defense for the first time. But they do such a good job, man. And what's so cool is our coaches do the most to make sure they learn it. Like I feel like at some places I don't think coaches will put as much time with young freshmen as they do here at Ohio State.
How hard is that? And this, for a guy I got a chance to play in about 5 different defensive systems, and some of them are similar, some of them are crazy different.
Yep.
The change in terminology of coverages where this used to be A, now it's B. I mean, I know with Coach Combs before, he has used a lot of numbers, terminology, and they've talked now. It's a lot of colors and states and all these different things. And Coach Knowles kind of talked about that when they took a little look in the spring game. Just that transition of identifying, it's a different language, basically, of trying to make those connections.
Yeah, so Coach Knowles has so many terms, and the way it's broken down, I don't want to give too much of our stuff away, but the way it's broken down is he makes it a lot simpler. Like, a lot of stuff are in certain categories, a lot of stuff relate to each other. So they do a great job of thinking, I know the GAs and everyone think for hours of how to make certain stuff relate, and sometimes they stretch it.
All the connections, like this is why this is related
exactly.
to that.
But it's funny how it all comes together, man, and it's just a continuous just system, always evolving.
I feel like it is a stream. How did Shark treat you over there? I know before you came in here, because you kind of want to learn everything. You've been hanging out with us. You've said before that you want to kind of get into the sports media business whenever your long, successful playing career is done. But, I mean, did he yell at you over there? Was it intimidating, all those million button combinations behind the board?
He didn't yell at me, but he be going, he be doing his thing over there with the numbers, and then he was like, yeah, we got camera shots. I'm like, you run the cameras too? Like, the whole time I thought someone was in the back messing with the camera. So for him to be back there, navigating everything, man, that's amazing.
Yeah, so he's almost done. This is Shark's guy. Yeah. I mean, this is great when you look at the twilight of your life right here. Lathan, Shark's retiring on July 11th, 2025. So he is like inside of 60 weeks left of working, and they've just dumped all this new stuff on him that he had to learn. So just like you, I mean, you get guys who, veteran dudes, all of a sudden you've been doing it one way for a while.
Yep.
And this will happen, especially when you get to the next level. You may be in the same system for 8 years and then have to learn something new at the end. And that's why you see a lot of quarterbacks, when people talk about where they're going to go and what they're doing, there's really on offense about 4 or 5 different systems that people run. And guys like to stay consistent.
Yep.
Because they don't want to go to something that's wildly different where everything's called different things. They might want to go someplace where there's like 80% overlap, which makes it easy. And unlike what we're doing to Shark over there, man, he's learning the cameras now.
Hey, Shark, how does it feel, man, to be so close to retirement?
Feels great because I don't have to work with these guys anymore.
I think that's probably the right answer. No, it's been good. We've been giving him a hard time. We've been having the countdown for like the last 3 years, too. So, I mean, now it's starting to get real. And I don't know if there's anybody who wants to do his job. I mean, do you know what time do you know what his sleep schedule is like?
No, what is his sleep schedule?
Why don't you tell young Lathan over here, Shark, what you're working with on a daily basis?
I get in here at 2 o'clock, 2 to 10.
What time do you go to sleep?
Noon to 6.
Oh, my goodness.
And I stay up all night.
He likes to watch, because he likes to watch all the sports. So he'll sleep during the day to be able to, he loves Cleveland sports. So he'll watch the Guardians, Cavs, every one of the games. And he's sick. He's sick.
Yeah, when he misses a game on vacation, he'll record it at home on like his DVR and then come back after vacation and watch it. Like that's the kind of sports fan that you're dealing with.
Dedication.
It is dedication. I mean, we got, all kinds of different stuff on the TV here this morning. And as we get closer and closer to the football season kicking off, I mean, do you have, I'm not going to ask if you have a favorite team in the NFL, but I know that more so you can try to emulate yourself off of like favorite players. Do you have guys that you look at when you watch on Sundays and say, man, that guy's incredible?
Yeah, Jesse Bates, Budda Baker. I actually love watching Budda Baker play, not only because he's on the Cardinals, but he's just a dude that's just so relentless of pursuit to the ball. Like, he's not the biggest dude, he's not the fastest dude, but he plays harder than everyone on the field, and he always stands with like a sore thumb. So that's someone I really try to emulate my game after. Then you got there's just so many great safeties in the league, but those are two that stand out to me the best.
So you're a Cardinals fan then?
No.
I'm not. Well, you said he was on the Cardinals, so
no, I'm not a Cardinals fan. Honestly, I grew up a big 49ers fan. Like before, I'm not even gonna say I'm a 49ers fan now, but when I was growing up, I was a huge 49ers fan. So if I'm gonna claim a team, it'd probably be the 49ers.
Is that your dad? You said your parents?
Yeah, my dad's from California.
So is he a Niners fan then?
He's a LA everything fan. So he was a LA Raiders fan, and then when they moved to Oakland, he was still a fan. Then they moved to Las Vegas, so it's kind of hard for him to be like, I'm a LA Raider fan. But like he LA Raiders, the Lakers, like all those. That's all I grew up watching. Like the Laker games, I literally vividly remember watching. My mom couldn't even be in the same room as my dad watching the Laker game, just because he was so into it and yelling every play. Like every play, he was saying something, and that's all I grew up watching, and that's why I'm a diehard Kobe fan.
That's tremendous, man. I think we all get a little carried away sometimes when we're watching our favorite games. We're favorite teams, and to do that for an NBA game is pretty impressive. Before we get you out of here, Wolves going to come back in the series. I know that they tried last night. It's 3-1 now. It's still a tough task for them.
Yeah, so I honestly, it's funny when we talked about it last time, I kind of talked about being the Timberwolves and the Celtics, but Kyrie's honestly been my favorite player for a long time, so I think to see him and Luka make it was something I really want to see, but I want the series to go longer. I don't want the Timberwolves to win.
So does Adam Silver.
Yeah, because it's going to have this massive break in between. The NBA's terrified. If they would got swept last night, you'd be waiting a week for no action. I mean, I get it's pre-fixed, but I can get a conversation next time about having to wait for that and like what they're doing, because I can't even imagine you're in a flow where you're playing every 2 to 3 days, and then here's 8 days off. Now go try to play for a title.
I think, what are you guys' thoughts been on the series so far? Because watching Luka and Kyrie, man, two of the best closers in the NBA has been amazing.
It's amazing to watch that situation work because I did not envision it working like this at the beginning. And Kyrie's done a really good job playing off the ball, and they do a lot of times you see two ball-dominant guys like that, they don't really exist, and it's just kind of your turn, my turn, but they've seemed to do a really good job of playing well together, which has been very impressive.
Yeah, I agree with that. I mean, when Kyrie was traded to Dallas, I'm like, that's going to be it's going to be a disaster. And then it hasn't been, because they're right on the precipice of the NBA Finals. Buddy, appreciate you stopping in today. What do you got going on? What's on the agenda for today? A little lift?
Yeah, going straight to workouts, man. Going straight to workouts, and then just probably relax for the rest of the day.
Sounds great. Tell Schleigs we said hey, and we'll talk to him either next Monday night or next Tuesday morning. Appreciate it, Lathan. Have a great day, all right?
Thank you. Appreciate you guys having me.
Buckeye Lathan Ransom with us in studio. Great stuff out of him, as always. We're going to get juice next. Morning Juice right here on The Fan.
Fan traffic.
From the Atlas Butler Plumbing Services Traffic Center.
Hey there, and good morning. Right now we're watching a crash on I-70 westbound on the east side. The left lane is blocked off on I-70 westbound near Bryce Road. Expect delays coming in from the Etna-Pataskala area. I'm 10 TV's Amy Stuggerwald with your fan traffic.
What's wrong with Rick? He's kind of spacey. That's Rick's identical twin, Scott. He's not used to answering to Rick. What's going on? Rick asked me to keep it secret, but he asked his twin to cover his shift so he could go to Diamonds Direct to shop. But this is a jewelry store. Exactly. But the prices and selection are so much better at Diamonds Direct. Rick doesn't want the boss to get suspicious, so Scott's here in case the boss sees Rick at Diamonds Direct. But that would mean that the boss is at Diamonds Direct too. Yeah, we have a lot of secrets.
You never know who you'll run into at Diamonds Direct. With unbeatable direct importer prices, the highest quality diamonds, the most sought-after designer rings, the best customer service, the strongest guarantees in the industry, it's just a no-brainer.
You think if Scott had a mustache, he'd look like me?
Go where everyone goes. Diamonds Direct. Your love, our passion. Learn more at diamondsdirect.com.
Ready to be the change and have a positive impact on your community? Consider joining the Columbus Division of Police. Starting pay is $70,000 plus, growing to 6 figures after 4 years of service. We offer paid vacations, paid holidays, and health insurance. Do you aspire to complete your degree? We offer 100% tuition reimbursement after you complete your first year of service. Contact the CPD recruiting unit at jobs@columbuspolice.org or apply online at columbus.gov/government/jobs. The City of Columbus is an equal opportunity employer.
Need parts fast? O'Reilly Auto Parts has fast. Need them now? We've got now. No matter what you need, we have thousands of professional parts people doing their part to make sure you have it. We're O'Reilly Fast. Just one part that makes O'Reilly stand apart. The professional parts people.
O'Reilly Auto Parts. Attention weekend warriors. Fan Sports Saturday has moved to 10 a.m. Join Eric Reeser and Tyvis Powell as they dive into popular topics like the Buckeyes and Tyvis's liquid diet.
Saturdays from 10 to 1.
The Fan.
Are you not able to enjoy the summer as much as you want because of joint pain? This is the time of year for being outdoors. It's the best, but not if your knees, shoulders, hips, or back are hurting. Hey, it's Bobby Carpenter. Don't suffer any longer. Non-surgical joint pain relief is here at QC Kinetics. Call them today. QC Kinetics is the nation's leader in regenerative medicine. I'm talking about lasting pain relief with no surgery, no drugs, and best of all, no downtime. QC Kinetics advanced treatments harness your own body's biologics and help restore and repair damaged joint tissue so you can walk, run, hike, play golf, move, swim, all pain-free. QC Kinetics is under the leadership of former orthopedic surgeon Dr. Mitchell Sheencup, a true pioneer in regenerative medicine. They have locations in Columbus, in both Gahanna and Dublin. Their advanced protocols have enabled tens of thousands of patients to reclaim their mobility. So go check them out at QCkinetics/Columbus or give them a call, 380-208-4544.
Lowe's knows every project starts with the right tools and equipment.
And during Craftsman Days, you can save big on what you need from a brand you trust. Get a free Select V20 tool when you buy a Select Battery 2-pack. Plus, save $50 on a V20 string trimmer and leaf blower combo kit. Now only $99. Because Lowe's knows home improvement. Valid through 5/29 while supplies last. Selection varies by location.
Two guys drove to work. Neither guy wore a seatbelt. One guy got a ticket. One guy didn't. The same two guys drove home. One guy wore a seatbelt. One guy didn't. One guy made it home. The guy not wearing his seatbelt didn't. Don't risk it. Click it or ticket. Paid for by NHTSA.
Fan weather.
From the Logan AC and Heat Services Weather Center.
Today, look for cloudy skies with a high of 70. Tonight, look for a low of 47, along with a few possible showers. Then on your Thursday, we're looking at a mostly sunny sky with a high around 70. That's a look at your latest weather forecast on 97.1 The Fan.
Want to know anything about the Fans contest, how to win, or what's up for grabs? Check out 971thefan.com. The Fan, Ohio's sports destination.
A radio show hosted by two former football players, one slightly more successful than the other. You're listening to Morning Juice.
Well, spending money to replace your home's windows, that's really something we're getting excited about. We usually do it because our energy bills are crushing us, or our current windows, well, they're starting to leak and look terrible. But in working with the local Pella Columbus team, my eyes have been opened, your eyes will get open. New windows, they're going to legitimately change the look of your entire home. I call them all the time. The windows are your eyes to your home. They can look beautiful or they cannot. Make sure they're looking good. They've got colors and styles like I've never seen over at Pella. You're going to want to check them out. They can change everything. So go check out the new Polaris showroom or go to PellaColumbus.com.
What's got you juiced?
Sponsored by Newman Roofing. Call Newman Roofing today at 614-NEW-ROOF or visit online at newmanroofing.com.
All right, Bob, let's get you fired up here on this Wednesday, buddy.
This is 2.5 minutes, so we're going to get into this right now. It's fantastic from Bill Walton.
Coach Wooden, he lived by his 2 sets of threes, and he implored us to give it a try. And those 2 sets of threes: don't lie, don't cheat, don't steal, don't whine, don't complain, don't make excuses. That covers a lot of ground. And then Coach Wooden had a billion maxims and mantras that he would throw out at just the appropriate time. His use of the English language, unparalleled. That was his true love. And so he would say things to us like, be quick, but don't hurry, whatever the heck that means. Failing to prepare is preparing to fail. Happiness begins when selfishness ends. Never mistake activity for achievement. The worst things you could do for the ones you love are the things they could and should do for themselves. Stubbornness we deprecate, firmness we condone. The former is my neighbor's trait, the latter is my own. When everybody thinks alike, nobody thinks. It's okay to disagree, just don't be disagreeable. And then the one that he wrote for me on the day I graduated from UCLA, June 1974, 45 and a half years ago. To Bill Walton, it's the things you learn after you know it all that count. John Wooden. That still sits on my desk. But his fallback go-to mantra was always the same. He would look at us with a straight face, and he would say, because he was a very serious guy, and took his job with great duty and solemnity and respect. He would look at us and he would say, remember guys, basketball is just like life. It's not a game of size and strength, it's a game of skill, timing, and position. It's not how big you are, it's how big you play. It's not how high you jump, it's where you are and when you jump. And so while Coach Wooden is racing through all these positive aspects of our personal foundation, I'm scratching my head. That's why I'm bald today, because I just could never stop scratching my head. And I would just look at him and I'd say, Coach, you cannot possibly believe these things that you're saying, particularly when you tell us that basketball is not a game of size and strength. Come on. Kareem has all the records, Shaq has all the money, and Wilt has 20,000 girlfriends. So you tell me it's not a game of size and strength? And he'd look at me and say, Walton, you're the slowest learner I've ever had. Don't you realize it's not about stuff? It's not about material accumulation. It's about training the mind to become the champion in everything that you do. But that requires you to play on the teeter-totter of life. Leadership and risk and fearlessness, ego, humility, and making that decision and the choice that I am going to make the sacrifice for the greater goals of the team.
Pretty darn good out of Bill Walton right there.
Really good, man.
Playing for John Wooden and some of the unbelievable things he taught. Shark, what's got you juiced?
Schlegs.
I really don't like leaving the country because I can't take guns with me when I go there. I'm well protected and well trained. Gas station ready all the time. It knows no international boundaries, that's for sure. I would just rather stay at home and be with my peoples.
It's a big juxtaposition between Bill Walton and Schlegs.
Yeah, hard to follow Bill Walton. I will try. The Guardians, I mentioned this before, dead last in the major leagues in home runs last season, and they were like 40 behind the second worst team. This season, 6th in the American League. It was 63 homers in 55 games. They hit 4 of them last night. Here's 3 of them from Tom Hamilton on WTAM.
The set, the pitch, and he swings and sends one high to deep right field. Blackman's back, track, wall, it is gone! He's done it again! Jose Ramirez with a 2-run home run to right. Here's the set and the pitch. Runner goes, pitch swung on, ripped, deep left, forget about it! Way out of here for Fry! He's come through again and again and again. Here's the pitch. A swing and a drive to deep right. Away, way back. Gone to the second deck. Oh, my goodness. And it's 13-7 Cleveland. And Josh Naylor with a 3-run homer to the second deck in right here in the 8th.
How about that, sports fans? By the way, in 7 career games at Coors Field, Hosey is 13 for 29, 2 homers, 6 doubles, 8 RBIs. How good is that, Beam?
That's very good. That's got me fired up. Listening to Tom Hamilton always get me juiced here. It's also got me fired up, Sharky. They've done all that without Stephen Kwan. I mean, they have been on a tear this month, all without him. He's in Columbus too, by the way.
6 games.
Yeah. So he's going to be here. If you're hanging out, want to go down to Huntington Ballpark, you're going to be able to see him. What's got me fired up here on this Wednesday? Felt pretty good. Yesterday got some yard work done, Bob. Again, just kind of continuing on that front, and Lathan Ransom has me juiced. Super excited whenever he comes in here. A lot of people, would be intimidated when they walk in here because, he knows you. That they would be intimidated kind of walking in here, not knowing what to do. He's sitting in there just chopping it up with Shark for like 10 minutes before he walked in here. So very, very cool to have him in studio. Always appreciate his time. Know that he's very busy. So super, super fired up. We were able to make that happen, and he seems to be enjoying it too. So we'll work on getting him back in the studio before long. Steve Helwagen of Bucknuts, he's going to join the program. We'll talk some Buckeye offseason with him in the re-rack coming up next. Morning Juice right here on The Fan.
Fan traffic.
From the Atlas Butler Plumbing Services Traffic Center.
Good morning. If you're coming in from the Etna-Pataskala area on I-70, expect delays in those westbound lanes because of a crash. Crews are working to clear up right now. They've got the left lane slightly blocked off on I-70 westbound right near Bryce Road. I'm 10 TV's Amy Steigerwald with your fan traffic.
Fan traffic is sponsored by Whiskey War by High Bank Distillery. Drink local. Drink High Bank.
We see it every day. A guy comes into the men's clinic and guess what? The pills quit working, or they're sick of the side effects. And you know what else we see? Guys not confident in their relationship. At Columbus Men's Clinic, we're the leaders in bedroom confidence. Understanding if you even need ED or low T treatment should be the first step. And the next should be choosing the treatment or treatment combination to build your confidence. Our urologist and physician group is offering professional, modern treatments with success rates as high as 92% and decades of experience. Our doctors are not going to send you an email with what might work for most people. We are results-driven. Concierge. You don't pay for medication, it's included, but you invest in the time it takes to get you where you want to be. We've built an experience with discretion that takes the worry out of going to the doctor. In fact, we've normalized it for guys all over Columbus. Come see our friendly team in Columbus and find out why we've been #1 in men's health for years. Get a consultation and low T blood work with results on your first visit for $99. Get your confidence back in the bedroom and beyond. Go to columbusmensclinic.com and book your appointment today. columbusmensclinic.com.
This is the story of the one. As head of maintenance at a concert hall, he knows the show must always go on. That's why he works behind the scenes, ensuring every light is working, the HVAC is humming, and his facility shines. With Granger's supplies and solutions for every challenge he faces, plus 24/7 customer support, his venue never misses a beat. Call quickgranger.com or just stop by. Granger, for the ones who get it done.
I need directions for paying down debt.
Starting route. Apply for a SoFi personal loan and consolidate your debt into one fixed payment. Turn right into a positive outlook and get $5,000 to $100,000 as soon as the same day you sign, with no fees required.
Got it. You could get out of high-interest credit card debt with a SoFi personal loan. View your rate at SoFi.com/debt in 60 seconds with no impact to your credit score. Loans originated by SoFi Bank N.A. Member FDIC. Terms and conditions at SoFi.com/debt. NMLS 696891.
Hey there, friends. It's Bo Bishop here, and my friends at RCD RV are blazing a trail in the RV industry. RCD now has 5 stores in Ohio to serve you with the best brands, new and pre-owned RVs for every budget. Your summer vacation will be one to remember when you skip the smog and spend your nights under the stars. The beautiful night sky, making those memories with the whole family. They're going to cherish it forever. Visit them at any of their 3 locations in Central Ohio and 5 in the Buckeye State, or online anytime at rcdrv.com.
Broadcasting from the Lindsay Honda Studios.
Honda makes the cars. Lindsay makes the difference. Visit lindsayhonda.com.
WBNS-FM, HD1 Columbus. The Fan. Sports Center.
Good morning. I'm Mark the Shark. The Blue Jackets are holding a press conference this afternoon to introduce Don Waddell as the new general manager and president of hockey operations. He replaces former GM Jarmo Kekalainen, who was fired midway through this past season, and also takes over the president's role from John Davidson, who will now be an advisor to the team. Waddell stepped down as GM of the Carolina Hurricanes last week. In baseball, the Guardians blew leads of 2-0, 4-2, and 7-4, but a 3-run homer from David Fry in the 7th and a 3-run homer from Josh Naylor in the 8th gave Cleveland a 13-7 win at Colorado. In Cincinnati, the Reds had a hard time solving Kyle Gibson. The Cardinals starter allowed just 1 run on 2 hits over 6 innings with 6 strikeouts as St. Louis won 7-1. Nolan Arenado hit a 2-run homer for the Cards. Will Benson's solo shot accounted for Cincinnati's lone run. Breaking sports news when it happens on The Fan, Ohio's sports destination.
Heading to work? Keep listening to the guys at the office.
Stream the show at 971thefan.com or download the Fan app.
This is Morning Juice.
Hour number 3 of the program for us on a Wednesday. Brandon Bean, Bobby Carpenter, Mark the Shark. Coming up here momentarily, we will check in with Steve Helwagen of Bucknuts, talk all things Buckeyes with him. And then Jeff Risdon of Lions and Draft Wire, also the Detroit Lions podcast. He's going to join us coming up here around 8:35. So the Riz Daddy coming up here in about a half hour's time. Steve Helwagen, he's going to appear here in a few minutes.
Keeping you informed about what's trending this morning. It's time for a little re-rack on Morning Juice.
Sponsored by Billiards Plus, your destination for top-of-the-line grills with up to 30-year warranties. Billiards Plus on Dublin Center Drive in Dublin.
NBA playoffs not over yet in the West. It is now a 3-1 advantage to Dallas. Wolves 105, Mavs 100. Back to Minnesota they go for game number 5. Knew for a fact that game wasn't going to be closed out in 4. Just with the way that the NBA schedule, they wanted no part of that.
Those refs, they're going to take care of everything. Mm-hmm. Adam Silver made sure they were going to get at least another game, maybe even a game 6. Who knows? But it was close. I mean, in all these games, outside of what, the second game was a blowout in the series?
Yeah, that sounds right.
I want to say, or was it the Celtics? I'm trying to think. The games all blend together.
The Celtics game number 2 blew out the Pacers.
Okay, yeah, these have all been close games.
Yeah.
That's right. The Celtics-Pacers game 2 was a blowout. These have all been close games. So it was only, you felt like if they could hang around, take a lead into the end, they'd have a good chance at winning it. And, man, they have played pretty well. And, I mean, Luka had some nice shots down the stretch. They did some good things. But it's, unfortunately, for the Mavs fans, they weren't able to get it done. I think they probably still close it out in 5, if not 6. But we'll see. And I know this will give something. It'll give us a little bit of viewing and something to talk about, given the fact, when does the final start in 8 days?
June 6th. That's next Thursday.
I mean, my goodness.
That's the first day of the Memorial.
Yeah, first real day. That'll be rough. It's a long day right there, Beam. Full day's work.
Yeah, it really is going to be. So 3-1 series advantage. A series now heading back to Minnesota. Panthers 3, Rangers 2, and that one in overtime. Series now tied up at 2 games a pop. Get the Stars and the Oilers tonight at 8:30. Buckeye men's golf, good day yesterday. Beat Vanderbilt in the first round, not the first round, the quarterfinals, I guess, of the match play. Since they moved to match play, Buckeyes have never advanced to that. And they beat Vanderbilt in the first round. They got to Auburn, who is the number 1 team in the country. Auburn had 8 team wins over the course of the season and got down to a playoff, Bob. Match went 21 holes. And unfortunately, the Buckeyes fell. Adam Wallen did on the 21st hole. But a great season by the Buckeyes nonetheless, and a dramatic match that went well into 10:30, 10:40 last night. But it was fun. It was fun to watch. And anytime a Buckeye team is involved in that, man, so close to getting to a national championship match.
Yeah, they were right there, right on the precipice. The spring sports for the Buckeyes have been pretty good.
Yeah.
I mean, you look at what lacrosse was able to do. Usually, I mean, they've put together some stuff, but tennis was really good this year. Fell a little bit short. Golf right there on the precipice. Getting to the semis, just like tennis. So it's they've been doing a good job, and unfortunately came up a little bit short there, but kudos to them for one heck of a season.
Right now we're going to head out to the Bryant Heating and Cooling Systems Fan Guest Hotline check with our good friend at Bucknuts. He is Steve Helwagen. Steve, thanks so much for the time, buddy. Always appreciate it. What's on the biggest to-do list for you for the Buckeyes here as we get ready to close out the month of May and turn it into June?
In terms of football, or just I don't know. What are you?
Just
are you asking
in general life. Football. Let's stick with football, Steve.
Well, I know that the summer semester gets started, I think, next week on Monday or Tuesday. So I believe what will happen is Mylan Graham and some of the other guys who stayed in high school and finished up the last few months in their high school will be joining the team. And so that's always a good thing. There's only like 6 or 7 of those guys in that recruiting class that'll be coming in. I call it late, but it used to be the normal that they would arrive in June and start working out with the team and getting ready. And I know that the same thing holds for Jake Diebler with the basketball program. Junie Mobley and the Mr. Basketball Award winner Colin White will also be arriving, it sounds like, next week as well. So Diebler will have all 12 hands on deck, it sounds like, with his transfers and everybody else coming to campus, and start that build toward 2024, 25. And, it's a long summer. It's going to be a lot of hard work for the guys, no doubt.
It's basketball recruiting's always been big in the summer. Football now, pretty big. They have a lot of their official visits and stuff coming up, Steve. But, talking about that football and basketball on the recruiting front, what does that potentially look like here over the next month?
Yeah, I know with football it's kind of crazy because they invite in guys who are going to be seniors for the 2025 class who are still undecided to make official visits. And also at the same time, they have 5 camp dates for high school kids, really freshmen through seniors, that will be on campus working out with Ohio State coaches. And those are also recruiting camps. The coaches will form opinions on the scholarship offers and may even get a commitment or two right out of the camps as well. So it is a busy time. A lot of guys coming on unofficial visits and official visits, and also camping with the Buckeyes. They'll have 2 camp dates next week, which conveniently I've scheduled a vacation. So I am not going to be camping. I'm not going to be pitching a tent over there at the Woody Hayes Center next week. I'm going to miss those 2, but I'll be back for the last 3, so that's good.
Steve, when you start we break down like scholarship limits and everything, and I know that the big House settlement happened last week, and one of the proposed rule changes was adding a scholarship limit and basically doing away with walk-ons. To you, I mean, how does that affect a building of a roster? Because, I mean, it takes a lot. It's not just the 85 scholarship players. Like, there's a lot of people involved in making this team very good year in, year out. Like, how does that affect the way that this roster is kind of built out in the future, if that happens to be a case in a rule that's passed?
Yeah, that'd be a sad day if they do that. I mean, you think about a guy like Xavier Johnson who worked his way up, from being a walk-on to catching a pass in the win against Notre Dame, here in Columbus, and so many big plays he made. I think he caught a long one against Georgia as well. So, this is a guy that was integral to their success, and they found him through the walk-on program. And again, I think it comes down to legality. I think once you start paying athletes and making them some form of employee, the walk-on who's right next to them is going to say, hey, I should be paid just as much as JT Tuimoloau because I'm doing all the same things he's doing, with summer program lifting and getting up at 6 a.m, going to practice and everything else. Why aren't I getting paid? And I think that they would open themselves up to a lawsuit that they're not paying people who are doing the same job, essentially. So they may just eliminate walk-ons altogether and maybe go to 90 or 95 players, quote unquote, on scholarship. So, we are in a state of great flux the next 5 years as they sort this out. And the thing is, there's no solution. Like Indiana can't agree to the same things Ohio State's going to agree to. They don't have the same amount of revenue. So, there are so many examples and things just don't match up. School to school, conference to conference. It's going to be an interesting time.
It will be. Last week on the job officially for Gene Smith, as I believe Ross Bjork will be taking over the start of June. Legacy of Gene Smith in your mind here as he leaves the Buckeye State?
Well, it wasn't always without its bumps and some turbulence. I mean, you think about the Jim Tressel situation, the Urban Meyer situation. 19 years he maneuvered that athletic department through a lot of good and also some tough moments. I mean, COVID was a thing for the budget that really was a tough time, to go through without having fans in the stands, and they had to borrow money, obviously. But the way that they're able to generate money through a lot of the processes he put in there, I think they've been able to pay back a lot of those loans from the university, and I think he's done pretty well. He kept them on top in terms of facilities, the best that he could. And again, it's a difficult job trying to keep everybody happy in an environment like this. But Ohio State's consistently won in a lot of these programs, and I held his feet to the fire there a few months ago about the men's basketball program. I think, there were some issues there, and I'm still, I think if you talk to the rank and file Ohio State fan, they would appreciate it if, the atmosphere in and around the shop was a little bit better. But again, there's only so much the athletic director can do. And I think he's done an outstanding job, I think, on the whole over 19 years.
We've talked about that a lot as we check in with Steve Helwagen at Bucknuts with us here on the Bryant Heating and Cooling Systems Fan Guest Hotline. Steve, you've been covering Ohio State for a long time. You've watched a lot of basketball games over at that arena. I mean, to you, how do they change it? I mean, is there one thing that they can do, a couple of things? Because, there's no way you get out of the lease. You can't rebuild it.
Let's start with trying to get there. Up in Cleveland, there's garages attached to the building. Down at Nationwide, there are 3 garages within a 1-minute walk of the building. At Ohio State, it's the wintertime, and they want you to trudge, across Olentangy River Road. There are people parking at the Fawcett Center trying to dodge cars crossing Olentangy River Road. Why is there not a garage attached to that building? I asked Andy Geiger about that years ago when he was the guy who built it, and he said, it would look ugly. No, it'd be functional for the people who are using it. Let's put it that way. So just trying to get there is the first hassle, and then everything is, so expensive. I mean, when you get there, and they're trying to make things as fan-friendly as they can, but, they had some winning teams. They upped the ticket prices, and now people are staying home. They're voting with their feet because it's just too expensive to go down there for the product last few years that they were putting on the floor. You can talk about game management and, the PA announcer screaming at people and everything else. But, I just think that for the fans, they've turned off a lot of people. When you have to take buses to get to the arena and everything else, there should be a way that this works a lot easier and a lot more efficient than what they've come up with.
I think you nailed it. Absolutely. Where are we going on vacation, Steve?
Oh, Hilton Head, South Carolina. Going to go down there and enjoy. We've got 4 or 5 food spots we hit and a couple golf courses that we'll hit. And really, it's my first vacation since February of last year. I'm planning to do absolutely nothing. So that's my plan.
We'll call you at 6:30, day number 1 of your vacation, all right?
All right, sounds good. Book me for next Monday. Yeah, have Shark reach out 6:30 in the morning. That'd be great.
See you, Steve. Have a great vacation, buddy. Always appreciate it.
Yeah, guys, be good.
There you go. Steve Helwagen at Bucknuts with us here on the Bryant Heating and Cooling Systems Fan Guest Hotline. The Blue Jackets officially have their new GM. That's next. Morning Juice right here on the Fan.
Fan traffic.
From the Atlas Butler Plumbing Services Traffic Center.
Hey there, and good morning. Right now, we are still watching delays coming in from the far east side on I-70 westbound. There is a crash that has the left shoulder slightly blocked off on I-70 westbound, just beyond State Route 256. Expect delays if you're coming in from this direction. I'm 10 TV's Amy Steigerwald with your fan traffic.
Hats off to all the 2024 graduates, whether they're stepping into the next chapter of their lives or reaching a significant milestone. They deserve something extraordinary. At Diamonds Direct, you can shop for gifts under $1,000. From stunning diamond pieces to timeless pearls, this selection is the perfect way to recognize their dedication and success. Each piece is crafted with care and attention to detail, making it the perfect way to commemorate their graduation day. Consider a dazzling birthstone pendant showing off the qualities that make them who they are. Or perhaps classic diamond studs to complement the graduation attire and serve as a lasting reminder of this achievement. At Diamonds Direct, we understand the importance of honoring milestones, and we're here to help you find the perfect gift. This graduation season, let Diamonds Direct be your partner in celebrating their journey. Diamonds Direct, where milestones shine brighter. Explore our grad gifts in-store or online at diamondsdirect.com.
At Take 5, we're faster than you think. That means we'll change your oil and have you back on the road before you can count all the change in your center console. Cha-ching, baby. Just sit back and relax while our fast, friendly team does all the work. Take 5, the stay-in-your-car 10-minute oil change.
2 guys drove to work. Neither guy wore a seatbelt. One guy got a ticket. One guy didn't. The same 2 guys drove home. One guy wore a seatbelt. One guy didn't. One guy made it home. The guy not wearing his seatbelt didn't. Don't risk it. Click it or ticket. Paid for by NHTSA.
Hi, this is Ron Frost with Ohio Mulch, and we're proud to serve our customers for over 40 years, where our name means a great deal. So now it's time to drop those prices so you can save big. All bulk mulchers are now $10 off a yard. I told you, it's time to save. Visit us online at ohiomulch.com.
Sunday is a time for brunching with your favorite people. And when they don't invite you, listen to us instead. Fan Sports Sunday with Tito and Devere Posey.
Sunday morning starting at 11.
The Fan, Ohio sports destination.
We always come through for you when you need us to. That's ECO's promise to you. And for AC repair and installation, that means today, not tomorrow. If you have an air condition breakdown, we'll get a tech out to your home today. Or we'll give you a year's EcoFi Advantage membership for free. And make no mistake, we're a repair, not replace company. Our techs are trained to give you all your repair options. Sometimes, though, it just makes more financial sense to replace. And that's where we really come through for you when you need us to. Because we'll replace your AC system same day. No sleeping overnight in a hot, humid house. Or we'll take $1,500 off the cost of your new system and provide you with portable AC units for your bedroom. That's what coming through for you when you need us to means. So if you need AC repair, call ECO for same-day service. We'll get your home cool again. We'll make it happen today.
At geteco.com.
Flexible, secure, fun. Oh, and great pay, too. Are you not sure what you want to do for a career? Or are you thinking of changing careers? Being a dental hygienist or dental assistant may be the perfect fit for you and provides all of these perks, plus more. Talk with a dentist in your community or visit ODA.org to learn more. Become a valuable member of the dental team and start helping people love their smile. This message is brought to you by the members of the Ohio Dental Association.
Hello, it's John Kozik, founder and president of TurboTrack Realty, and I buy real estate as is fast for cash. Give us a call today for an all-cash offer at 614-470-2000, 614-470-2000. I buy vacant properties, inherited homes, divorce situations, death in the family. I even buy my tenants won't pay me the rent houses. Give us a call today for an all-cash offer at 614-470-2000, 614-470-2000.
Fan weather.
From the Logan AC and Heat Services Weather Center.
Heading out the door today, we are looking at showers out there on the roadways. 70 degrees is the high temperature today. Tonight we drop down to 47. And then on your Thursday, the sunshine is back. We're looking at a high of 71. That's your latest weather report on 97.1 The Fan.
FanDuel is the exclusive online sportsbook partner of Morning Juice. Just sign up at FanDuel.com/juice. The Fan, Ohio sports destination.
Keep on swiping that card, baby. Keep on swiping that card. Charge it to winning. This is Morning Juice.
Coming up here in our next segment around 8:35, Jeff Risdon. He's going to join the program. Lions Draft Wire, also host the Detroit Lions podcast. All kinds of good stuff going to get into with him. The white smoke has emerged from the chimneys of Nationwide Arena. Yesterday, they announced, the Columbus Blue Jackets announced today that longtime NHL executive Don Waddell has agreed to a multi-year contract to serve as the club's president of hockey operations, general manager, and alternate governor. We actually learned when we were checking in with Mark Scheig a little bit earlier what alternate governor means.
It does. That you're the alternate to represent the team at different NHL events. Mr. Waddell, there was a song, Beam, called Mr. Wendell. I don't know, Shark, do you remember that song?
Was that our former boss?
Well, it was. I
don't know that song, Bob.
Oh, it's good. It's a little, I wouldn't call it a hip-hop song. It was, back in the day, it'd be nice to be able to play it for the folks because they would love it. But I used to sing that about Mr. Wendell when he was here. And then Mr. Waddell, I mean, they might want to have him walk out to that too, Beam. It's a real banger. And what I do like about this, on a serious note, I love the fact that he's coming from an organization that's in a similar situation to the Jackets, where you're down there in Raleigh, North Carolina. It's not a traditional hockey market. You're not some team that's been there for 70 years. You don't have this entrenched fan base. You don't have this massive financial backing from the community as far as like just being in a major metro area with years of history.
Right.
And community involvement. And he's found a way to draft, win, and make it work. And they've been to a conference finals. Like
two of them
under him. They've been to the playoffs, the last 4 years straight? Five. But now the first round the last 4 years. Like, so they've been successful trying, to be honest with you, they've been the model for what the Jackets are trying to do.
Won the division 3 times in there, too.
That's what I'm saying. Like, the Jackets, an aspirational team for them would be the Carolina Hurricanes, right?
Yeah.
Okay, sorry. Because you have the Florida Panthers and then the Carolina Panthers and then the Miami Hurricanes. It's a real switcheroo with Carolina and Florida there on some of these teams. I have to sit there and ask myself, I'm like, wait, is that right? Yes, it is. But they're a model of what you want to try to be in a small market, non-traditional hockey market. Like, that is how you operate. And if we could have that type of success here in Columbus, I would be ecstatic. I would be thrilled. I hope that they give Don all the resources he needs to be able to have high levels of success.
Well, and I do too. And this fan
Hopefully
base,
he's not looking at players' phones when he interviews and meets with them.
We need to keep him here for a while. So stay off of the phone sharing. Stay off of the Apple sharing app. Don't do that when you first get here. He's going to have a press conference today at 1 o'clock. You can listen to that live on Rothman and Ice. They're going to carry that live from Nationwide Arena when that gets underway. I mean, the fan base, Bob, and again, under Torts, it was good. Like, he had some success, and this place was fever pitch. And then you get into the last couple of recent years, and it's been bad. Like, it's been a turd.
I don't know. There's a lot of success with that team. I'm watching Wenny and Panarin and Bob. Those guys are looking great in the Eastern Conference Finals.
They're looking pretty good, right?
I mean, there was the Shark. You got to be honest. I mean, that was a pretty well-built team.
The fever pitch at which this city can get for this organization really is, I mean, untapped potential. And we've seen it a couple times.
There's 17,000 people that show up on a Tuesday night for a team that has been out of the playoffs for 3 months.
It was the second best ever attendance this year in Blue Jackets organization history. They were out of the playoff race since December.
Yeah, I couldn't believe it. I went down there, and I don't know, when was that?
It's not an easy ticket to get to.
Yeah, and it was packed. I give City of Columbus a lot of credit. I mean, for showing up and supporting. And so I feel now like you've got a guy who's built it in a smaller market. This should check boxes for success. Now, it'll only check boxes if he has the resources and tools to be able to go out there and be able to get it done. So let's hope that that's the case.
Yeah, let's do hope that's the case. And I mean, it's not much different than to what you were mentioning. I mean, they don't have the payrolls of a Toronto. They don't have the payrolls and the glitzy, spending limit of like of a Boston.
You don't have the allure.
You don't have that
of the Russian allure of New York City.
We don't have that here.
The rave parties on Monday nights.
Maybe Shark, we can start some sort of club, and we can start that alluring of those guys. Like we can get that done. You can be their tour guide around the city.
Endless mirrors of white powder cruising around parties.
Like you don't have that.
You don't have that.
So we have the
At
zoo.
least not on a Monday night.
We have nice golf courses. We've got good areas. It's a very family friendly.
So we got the zoo.
We have the zoo.
We bought a zoo.
We have the zoo.
We've
got the zoo. It's a damn good zoo. I'm proud of our zoo. All right, we go there a lot.
I saw this thing I don't know how it's in my feeds. I already live here. I don't know why they're selling it to me. But Columbus was top 5 cities for people under 30 for nightlife or something like that.
Is it?
That sounded good to me.
So last week I told you on our big celebratory night out.
Since we've got the shootings under control in the short north, I feel like we're really on the come up.
Well, we were going down on Thursday night, and we were having dinner, and we were having drinks and everything. And I'm like, let's just drive up High Street. I'm like, what do you want to do? Meredith's like, I don't really know. I'm like, we can just go home. I'm like, nah, we've got the night. Like, let's kill another
loser,
hour.
Old lady. Let's go.
Come on, let's go somewhere else. Let's go to Bob's Bar or something. Let's go to Luckmore.
I like how you said we had some drinks and then we drove up High Street.
It was a couple of cocktails. It was fine.
Had a few. I mean, sure. Listen, having a drink or two. It didn't say Beam one's like, hey, I bonged a fifth SoCo and then I hopped in my car.
I had a cocktail before dinner and I had a beer at dinner.
Drink responsibly. That's what that means.
Yeah, and so in the meantime of a couple hours, and then I decided, I'm like, you know what, let's drive up High Street. Like we haven't done that in a while, and I always like to see the changes that are kind of going on. And we were driving through downtown. I'm like, all right, cool, normal looking downtown. There's a bunch of new restaurants on High Street, in downtown Columbus. There's a place called Hank's that looks pretty awesome.
Yeah.
And then we got to the short north, and it was so funny because I looked at Meredith, and I'm like, boy, this looks awful. That looks like nowhere it's just a mass of people. Everybody was having a great time. It was a beautiful evening out, but I'm like, that's me in the past. That would look awesome. For now, I'm like, no thanks. Not good. But the amount of people that were out on a Thursday night, on a thirsty Thursday night was pretty tremendous. So I understand all those rankings and everything that come out. It's an affordable city to live in.
Was. I mean, it's getting a little more expensive.
Yeah, you're right about that.
It's still cheaper than most. But yeah, there's a lot of good things here. So hopefully he'll be able to leverage a lot of those things and build the team, the right way. And there's a lot of great pieces. I don't think he takes this job if he doesn't have confidence in the pieces.
Well, he's not going to gut the team either.
I don't think it's a gut job. I mean, he's 65 years old.
Yeah.
And they've got some good young players. They've got some decent veterans. It's good veterans. It's a function of how you're going to get them to work together. Who are you going to get to coach?
Yep.
And who are you going to get to tend the goal beam? Those are the two things, the two most pressing questions that they're going to have to figure out.
It is going to be. And then you've got a bunch of restricted free agents, too, that you're going to have to work through, decide who you want in your future in Columbus, and then who else, where else are they going to play. So big job for him. Again, 1 o'clock press conference coming up later today. You can listen to that live here on The Fan as Don Waddell is going to be announced as the new general manager. All kinds of good stuff going to come up a little bit later on. Jeff Risdon of Lions Wire and Draft Wire. He's going to join the program. We'll talk some NFL offseason with him coming up next. Morning Juice right here on The Fan.
Fan traffic.
From the Atlas Butler Plumbing Services Traffic Center.
Hey there, and a happy Wednesday to you. Right now, we are watching crews clear up a crash on the east side. This is on I-70 westbound, just beyond State Route 256. The left shoulder slightly blocked off there as crews work to clear this up. I'm 10 TV's Amy Steigerwald with your fan traffic.
Care Heating and Cooling. When you need a company you can trust, call 1-800-COOLING.
Have you heard? There's always more at Speedway, like a Big Bite hot dog and Big Gulp drink for only $2.50. We've got what you're in the mood for, and now you can get more with less. Get your big meal deal for only $2.50 with Speedy Rewards. Valid through 1/7/25. Speedway has the right to end this promotion early, plus tax. Participating U.S. stores only. See app for full terms. All rights reserved.
Generation Radio, classic hits, original artists. Saturday, June 15th, the Columbus Commons. Join Jay DeMarcus of Rascal Flatts, Jason Shep of Chicago, and Steve Barone of Tom Petty and the Heartbreakers as they bring you the biggest classic hits of all time. Live on stage, the hits of Rascal Flatts, Chicago, and Tom Petty and the Heartbreakers and more. Generation Radio with the Columbus Symphony. Tickets on sale now at C-Bus Arts Ticket Center or picnicwiththepops.com. Presented by Nationwide Picnic with the Pops.
New 2024, up to 72 months Aria, up to 36 months Rogue, and 6324.
Reichert Nissan has an announcement to make. 0% financing is now available for up to 72 months. Take a Reichert Nissan Aria home today and pay 0% for 72 months. But that's not all. Reichert Nissan also has 0% financing on Rogue 2. Visit the Reichert Mega Mall off 270 and 33 or shop thousands of new and certified used at ReichertNissan.com.
Get the right car at Reichert.
We're dealing.
With approved credit. Residency restrictions apply. Offers cannot be combined. Dealer contribution affects consumer cost.
Need inspiration? Shop Kroger for over 30,000 mouth-watering choices with savings beyond fresh for everyone. Fuel restrictions apply.
Right now, you can save big on bags of Doritos, Tostitos, and Ruffles chips. Select varieties or buy 2, get 2 free with your card. Kroger, fresh for everyone.
Rockman and Ice.
Never the biggest clam chowder guy, man.
What? Old Bay on the top.
Like Old Bay in Baltimore. Like you have your own section of the kitchen that just is full of Old Bay when you grow up in Baltimore.
Rockman and Ice. Weekdays at noon.
Sponsored by Pella Columbus.
The Fan.
We see it every day. A guy comes into the men's clinic and guess what? The pills quit working, or they're sick of the side effects. And you know what else we see? Guys not confident in their relationship. At Columbus Men's Clinic, we're the leaders in bedroom confidence. Understanding if you even need ED or low T treatment should be the first step. And the next should be choosing the treatment or treatment combination to build your confidence. Our urologist and physician group is offering professional, modern treatments with success rates as high as 92% and decades of experience. Our doctors are not going to send you an email with what might work for most people. We are results-driven. Concierge. You don't pay for medication, it's included, but you invest in the time it takes to get you where you want to be. We've built an experience with discretion that takes the worry out of going to the doctor. In fact, we've normalized it for guys all over Columbus. Come see our friendly team in Columbus and find out why we've been #1 in men's health for years. Get a consultation and low T blood work with results on your first visit for $99. Get your confidence back in the bedroom and beyond. Go to columbusmensclinic.com and book your appointment today. columbusmensclinic.com.
Getting quality employees to fill positions in your company is essential, but finding those people can be a major hassle, unless you use ZipRecruiter. ZipRecruiter makes finding quality people a breeze. And right now you can try it for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. With ZipRecruiter, one click sends your job to hundreds of top job sites. But more than that, ZipRecruiter's advanced technology identifies the candidates with the skills you need, sends you a list of great matches to review, then actively invites them to apply for your job. And the results speak for themselves. 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. That's right, the first day. Now you can focus on your business and let ZipRecruiter do the work finding the best people for you. See for yourself. Experience the ease, efficiency, and power of ZipRecruiter for free. Just go to ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Morning Juice is sponsored by Affinity Whole Health, the leader in testosterone and hormone replacement therapy. FeelGreatColumbus.com. The Fan.
Here's a list of undisputed facts. Beamer is round, Shark was a swinger, and no one derails a show like Bobby Carpenter. No one. This is Morning Juice.
Here's Long Hair Wednesday edition of the program. Brady V, Bobby Carpenter, Mark the Shark. Right now we're heading out to the Bryant Heating and Cooling Systems Fan Guest Hotline, checking with our friend of Lions Draft Wire, also the Detroit Lions podcast. He is Jeff Risten. Jeff, thanks so much for the time, buddy. Always appreciate it. Lots happening. Last time we checked in with you was before the draft when it set upon Detroit, and now, of course, after the draft. You were up there. How was it?
It was a great experience. I think the city of Detroit did a fantastic job putting on a really good event. It was, fans from everywhere, all over the place. It was a lot of fun. There were a ton of Bengals fans there. There were a ton of Browns fans, Steelers fans. It's a good centralized location, much the way it was in Cleveland back in 2021, and the weather was great. So it was a wonderful experience.
You'll take that anytime you get that, the weather, especially here kind of in this region of the country, Jeff. What was the reaction when Michael Penix Jr. went to the Falcons there, like live in the crowd?
Okay, so I was up in the media room where there's about 700 of us in the media, and I was sitting near some Falcons media, and they had no idea that this was going to happen. And it was the first time all night that the room just erupted. And it was sort of like an, oh, my God, but also like, what? It was, and the Falcons guys were the leaders of that. They could not believe that it happened. And it was stunning to see, professional people, those of us who do get paid to try to know this stuff and predict this stuff. Like nobody had an idea that they were going to take Michael Penix there. There was some school of thought that maybe they would trade back or try to trade into the later part of the first round to try to get him. But, most of us had Penix in pretty dark pencil to the Las Vegas Raiders at number, I think it was 13. So going at 8 there, that was a massive monkey wrench into everybody's night, really.
Well, they didn't want to let any of those guys get to 13, which none of them did. So very, very different. You talk about stunning. What was stunning, too, were the views that they had for the drone shots off the lake. Jeff, as you looked at, when they go to come in and out of break, I always tell people, Detroit, when you fill it up with people, it's a beautiful city, and it looked absolutely tremendous. What are we hearing about this NFLPA proposal about modifying the offseason, where historically, we've always had the April to kind of June. They've changed it over the years, but the phases as they go through with lifting, walkthroughs, OTAs, minicamp, and now wanting to kind of eliminate all of that and push it more up against the start of training camp as they did in COVID.
Yeah, it's kind of strange, and there's been some pushback from a lot of players and also league executives. Most people, like right now, OTAs are going on around the country. I will actually be in Detroit tomorrow for their open day with the media for this week. They do one per week, and then it rolls into mandatory minicamp. The Browns are doing this right now. A lot of teams are rolled in where, they had a rookie minicamp and then a week off, and then OTAs go through, and they're at various levels. And what the NFLPA has proposed is to basically eliminate this month period after the rookie minicamp and push it back to where there's not much going on between like Mother's Day and Father's Day. And that's the time where most guys take their vacations and families go on vacation. A lot of these players have kids. It's a chance for them to see, the end of school and to take it to Disneyland or a beach or a mountain or whatever. And there's a lot of pushback against, pushing the calendar back into that time where it disrupts families. And, look, this very well. Players today don't need the OTAs to get into shape. They just don't fall out of shape the way that athletes did back in the 70s and 80s when this stuff first came about. But, yeah, there's some pretty interesting pushback against it. I don't know where I'm at on it, to be honest with you. I like the fact that it sort of bleeds through the entire season. You don't really get that much time off, a couple weeks here or a couple weeks there. But taking that full month off, that's going to be that's going to be a tough sell for a lot of people.
If you were to poll the players, at least in the Lions organization, what do you think the split would be on shifting those OTAs, Jeff?
Nobody's come out and said anything about it yet, but we will be talking to them tomorrow about it. I would guess that it's probably I think the veterans, guys like Taylor Decker, will be more in favor of it because they don't do much of the voluntary workouts anyways. And look, the OTAs, they're not padded. They're not full contact. You're not getting a whole lot out of it unless you're trying to make an impression. The established guys probably don't care at all about it. I think the young guys, they want every opportunity to prove themselves and to learn and to get better and get ready. So I think, they're used to that sort of schedule from the college games. So I kind of think they probably might favor it a little bit more.
He is Jeff Risdon of Lions Wire and Draft Wire, also hosts the Detroit Lions podcast with us here on the Bryant Heating and Cooling Systems Fan Guest Hotline. Is there any thought? We know that the NFL has been talking about adding an 18th regular season game instead of having this month-long period now. If you shift that to June, that it could be a straight like 8 months of straight work for these guys? Like, has there been any thought about that with the elongation perhaps of the season?
Yeah, and there were a couple of players that talked about that. And, it's one of the things, it's coming. It's just a matter of when, not if. The NFL is obviously going to have to do some things to make it work. You're going to have to add a second bye week. I think that's going to be something that the players will not accept. They're not playing 18 games with just 1 week off. There's going to be some concessions made on that. But, yeah, it's coming. And I know there's been a push in the past to have the Super Bowl played on President's Day weekend, which is 2 weeks later than what it is right now, typically. So you don't have, so Super Bowl Sunday doesn't turn into everybody calling in sick on Monday because they were up too late. That's something that the NFL has wanted for a long time, and they're working towards it. This could be a way to do it. But, again, you got to give these guys some time off. Like, the human body can only take so much. If you're playing, if you're making a run of the Super Bowl, you could have played, 15 weeks in a row. That's a lot on these guys with the full contact. So, yeah, that's going to be something that we're going to be debating about for a long time to come.
How great does that sound, Jeff, just sliding right from the Super Bowl like a week and a half off into the Combine? Really keep that momentum going.
I tell you what, I love it as somebody who goes to the Combine every year. You get a little bit of stale time in between there. You have the Senior Bowl and the Shrine Bowl, and those are fun. But the Combine is like, that's where you shift into draft mode. And, when there's a gap between the Super Bowl and the Combine, there's a little bit of like, oh, what do we do now? Do we keep talking about the Super Bowl? Do we roll into the draft coverage? Like,
Jeff,
it's awkward for us.
Here's the problem. It's because you were covering the old Browns and the old Lions. Now there's not that much downtime because you were always done week 17. Now there's this elongated playoff run with Man Campbell there. So we should be feeling much better about it. There's not going to be that time off in Detroit.
I like the way you're thinking there. Yeah, hey, we got a pretty good football team up here. I'll tell you what, the three teams that I've covered professionally for USA Today are the Browns, the Texans, and the Lions. They all made the playoffs last year, and they all could make it again this year. Oh. And the Lions and the Texans are poised for potential. Like I think Houston's one of the best teams in the AFC too. I think Detroit is absolutely near the top of the NFC, if not at the top. So. It'll be a very fun year for me.
What kind of juice could you have gotten on parlays 10 years ago with the Lions, Browns, Texans all in the playoffs?
I just remember, sitting going away from Cleveland Browns training camp, where I watched Cody Kessler throwing to, oh my God, wide receivers that don't even I can't even think of who they are. Kenny Britt, Corey Coleman. My God, we've come a long way.
You just made our producer shudder over there. He just got like PTSD flashback.
So, anything I should be watching? I'm going to head up to Detroit's OTAs. And I'm going to check out some of the rookie ones at the end, just scheduling wise, the ones that are going to be happening in June. I mean, what should we be looking for up there, Jeff?
So the guy you really want to check out is 4th round pick Giovanni Manu, a 6'8", 352 pounds, and he's every bit of it. Former basketball player in Canada who played college football for the University of British Columbia, which I didn't even know existed. Dude is incredibly raw, but oh my goodness, you watch him play and you see why the Lions took the risk that they did on him. Probably not going to play a lot as a rookie, if at all. But man, that guy is just a specimen. It looks like he lifted weights coming out of the womb, man. He's just ridiculous athleticism. He's a fun one. And then if you like your offensive line play, Christian Mahogany, he is a dirtbag. He calls himself proudly a dirtbag. He's a lot of fun. And, OTAs, they tend not to get too rowdy. He's the guy who's going to push that limit a little bit.
You know what I like about the Lions, too, this offseason? Like, they've rewarded their guys, Jeff, who have given them years of service and played really well for them. Like they've spent a lot of money this offseason on their veterans, and they continue to draft well too. Like Goff, Amon-Ra St. Brown, Jonah Jackson getting a contract extension. Penny Sewell. Like they have just given everyone who has played really well for them no drama, no fuss, whatever it needs to be. They're going to pay them.
It's very strange to cover a competently owned team. And that I haven't had that opportunity. I listed off the teams that I covered. None of them have exactly been A's in ownership. Sheila Hamp deserves a tremendous amount of credit for turning the organization around. She's a very different type of owner in Detroit from her parents, who generally meant well but didn't know what they were doing. She's been outstanding. It's a place where people want to come. There's a preternatural success mantra around the team. It's very weird, and I kind of like it.
Absolutely, you should. You guys are feeling good up there. Buddy, always appreciate the time. Thanks for hopping on with us here this morning. Have a great rest of the week, and we'll check in again soon, all right?
My pleasure, guys. Thanks so much.
There he goes, Jeff Risten, Lions and Draft Wire, also co-host of the Detroit Lions podcast with us here on the Bryant Heating and Cooling Systems Fan Guest Hotline. Going to reveal our fan poll coming up next. Morning Juice right here on the Fan.
Fan traffic.
From the Atlas Butler Plumbing Services Traffic Center.
Hey there, and happy Wednesday to you. Right now, no crashes that we are watching across central Ohio. Watch for a lingering slow-moving traffic on the far east side coming in from the Etna-Pataskala area on I-70 because of a crash from earlier this morning. I'm 10 TV's Amy Steigerwald with your fan traffic.
Men, this is Jeff for Tri-State Men's Health. And you've heard me talk a lot about how treating low testosterone can improve your sleep, your workouts, your energy levels, and more. But today I want to talk to you about your sex drive, because low testosterone can have a significant impact on your desire for intimacy. It can even be a factor in erectile dysfunction. And if you're in a relationship or wanting to be in a relationship, a low sex drive could really be a problem. The good news is that if you're like most guys, treating your low testosterone could really change the way you feel about sex, giving you back the flame and desire that is so important when you love someone. So if you're feeling sluggish and tired, if you're not sleeping well,